All right.
What's going on?
You made it.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And so it's 10 o'clock over by you, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking 7 towards you, right? You live in Arizona?
7 o'clock. You bet, brother.
Yep. It's dark outside.
I see that.
Like your
So how,
background. New background?
oh yeah, that's like a piece of vinyl.
Ah,
That way you don't have to look at my dirty Venetian blinds.
yeah.
How
I
does it
like it.
look?
I like it. I like it.
It
Different,
looks all
different,
right.
different look.
Yeah. Well, it's better to, like I say, than looking at a dirty wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe someday we'll have a fancy studio.
Well, you're already at 92 subscribers. I mean, you haven't been going for that long, and you got a lot of support, a lot of people behind you. I like it. I
That's
think.
true.
I mean, whole Titano community loves you. So
Well, I sure love the community, so the feeling's mutual.
yeah.
Is that where you do your videos right there?
Yep, right here, same setup. Right now I'm on a desk. If you could see, at my desk. This is the camera I use.
Ah,
It's,
so
yeah,
that's like a SLR camera.
yeah, yeah. Got it for Christmas. Me and my siblings did, but I mainly use it for
How do you stream from that?
There's an SD card that I have in here.
I see.
So I have this SD card, and I have a contraption somewhere where I put in a MacBook, so then it connects to YouTube and stuff. So yeah,
Oh, I see. So you'll just like set that up on a tripod, you shoot the video,
yeah,
and then you take that and you upload it.
yep.
I see. So are you like you just go through it one time also like I do with no editing, or do you edit?
I edit it, but I go through one time, if that makes sense. I edit the boring parts so people's retention time is not that long. So I like to edit it so people watch through the whole thing, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
you see that mine average about 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I watch through the whole thing though. I put on a car ride when I'm going somewhere, if I'm working on stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to it. Yeah. Yours is good though because it's getting to know people. Mine's talking about crypto. So it's like, when I have these ums and uts and all that, I just like to cut
Uh-huh.
that out so it's more fluent, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't mind the ums and the ohs and all that kind of stuff because that's the way we really talk. So,
Yeah.
nobody gets it out the first time 100% anyway.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? But one of the things I don't like when I'm watching these YouTube curators is that they like, probably not the right word. These YouTube influencers is that they will like splice in every other 4 words. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they don't even take a breath. It's just like this constant boom, 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 boom.
Well, yeah, but I'm still learning about this YouTube stuff. I'm watching videos on it, watching my favorite creators on it, like how they present things and stuff like that. So I could take what they do and present it in my YouTube channel. But there's TikTok and all this, and it's all like shortcut, very fast
Yeah.
clips because people's retention time is not that long. So it keeps people's retention, if that makes sense. So I'm just
Some
trying to,
people,
yeah, some people,
some
some people.
people, I've faced with the same kinds of, thinking, I'm like, well, how should I gear this thing? Should I gear it towards other people or should I just gear it towards, my own, what I want to do, as opposed to what I think somebody else wants. And so I think, I've decided that I'm just going to do what I want to do. And if it works out, great, and if it doesn't, that's great too, because I still have my day job, which is running my business.
Yeah, I like how you're doing this thing. It's like a podcast, if it makes sense. I like
Probably,
that
yeah, more like a
type of
podcast.
yeah, I like that type of style.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody, Crypto Paul, who you are? I mean, I really like your energy. You're another one of these young guys that's out there involved in crypto. When I was your age, I didn't know anything about finance. All I knew, I was just chasing skirts, man. That's all I knew.
Yeah. So my name's Paul. I'm Crypto Paul. I just joined this crypto community just about a year ago. I think May 24th. I got in crypto. I invested $300 in Bitcoin. And that was that was the summer of the crash of last
Yeah.
crash of Bitcoin.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Down. I think I bought it like $37,000, and Yeah, basically, I got into crypto because, well, first, let me rewind back a little bit. So, 10th grade, sophomore year of high school, I took a economics class, and this is
Uh-huh.
probably the most useful class I ever took. All the school, I'm not like a really big school person. It's hard for me to focus on things I don't really like, but economics, for some reason, it just clicked different. No, I just loved economics. We talked about stocks, we talked about real estate, we talked about taxes, all that type of things. And I was just kind of, it just like clicked for me. I just loved it. So after school, I'd like search up 401ks, Roth IRAs, get into stocks. I was going to go into
It's
Robinhood, invest. I think
how
Robin
old how old are you at this point?
16, 16. Yeah.
16, and you're searching up our IRAs.
Yeah. 401ks are Roth IRAs, all that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mom, we got to set up this account. I want to start doing this. In 60 years, I could be a millionaire if I start putting $5,000 in. So I was all into that stuff. And my dad was talking about me with his coworkers where he works, and one of his coworkers suggested to get into crypto. So
Uh,
my dad told me about crypto, and I'm just like, what is crypto? Like, stock's been around for so long. Like, I don't know about crypto. They don't teach me this in school, you know what I'm saying? But I searched about crypto and I started learning about Bitcoin and how it's like decentralized and how it's there's no third party, it's not through the government and all this. And I started getting really fascinated and
mhm.
learn about inflation, all that, deflation, all that. And I'm like, wow, crypto is the new way. It's been here for 13 years. I started researching a bunch about crypto. So that summer, I invested $300 in Bitcoin. I started working with my dad, and all I do is listen to podcasts about crypto and everything about it. Listen to Robert Kiyosaki, listening to just TA about Bitcoin and all that. So
Mhm.
that's how I got into Bitcoin and crypto in general. But
So where did you get the $300 from?
well, it was from me and my dad.
Uh,
He helped me with it, and I put the rest in. So we kind of split it in. Yeah.
and so in school, you said that, you kind of thought it was boring, but are you a good student in school?
Yeah, I get A's. My parents expect a lot from me, so I do that, but it's
Mhm.
not like I'm leaving with a lot, if that makes sense. Like,
So, yeah, do you feel like you're under challenged there, or are you just ready to get done with it and get into the world?
well, I feel like, yeah, under challenged. Let's put it this way. I don't think I'm gonna use anything I use from school in real life, other than the math, maybe the English a little bit, but even in English, we're learning about poetry and whatnot. It's like it's not
Mhm.
gonna help me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I do
Yeah,
it because my
you
parents
have
want
to.
me to get straight A's, right? So I'm a straight A student. My parents expect me to get that, so I do it because they do a lot for me. So I do that for to make them
Mhm.
feel like I'm there. But other than I don't think I'm gonna use anything other than that outside. Like all these complicated formulas. And if I do, well, I'd have to relearn it and stuff. I forget things over summer, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
You sound like a very intelligent young man.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I'm 55, and some of the things that you just said, I say to my kids now. It's like first of all, I never graduated high school.
Yeah, I heard.
I thought, yeah, no, I thought it would be more fun to spend my time at Fuddruckers. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
It's basically a hamburger joint where they sell beer. And so, the crowd that I was running with, we just didn't really see the value in school at that time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, I did get my GED about 12 years later, but what I'm trying to say is that at this point, I've been in business for 13 years, have a successful business, and I find myself, the skill sets that I use to run business, uh, are not skill sets that I got in school, with the exception, of course, of our language and our
Yeah.
ability to be
Yeah.
able to speak and your basic math. So I think once you've got the basics, if you have an attitude like yours, which is
Yeah.
a really a go-getter one, brother, I mean, there's nothing's gonna get in your way unless you decide you don't want to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'd like to clarify for anyone that's watching, because I know this is going on YouTube. School could be for some people. It's just not for me or you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a
Yeah,
mixture. You know, like my
some people
sister
have an
could be someone
aptitude
that
for it.
would go to school. She wants to be like a doctor or some like along those lines. So that's you need extra training like college and whatnot. But for me, I'd rather run a business, and I'm more entrepreneurial mindset. So
Yeah.
like I'm not listening to someone that has books. I'd rather have a mentor like someone that knows or is running a successful business like that. That's just
Mm.
my mindset. And yeah, just to
I
clarify.
think it's a good one. There are situations, I guess, where you need to have a formal education, but then there are other ones, where you're just gonna plow right through the situation. The situation's gonna present you with opportunities, and if you're motivated, you're gonna take those opportunities. You're gonna learn from them, and then you're not gonna get. I think the best experiences are not going to come from books. They're going to come from you doing something and maybe making a mistake, but also
Definitely.
succeeding.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to, there's no fast rule that says you have to, fail this many times before you
Yeah.
can succeed. Some people are really good and careful at what they do and they don't fail too much.
Yeah, I agree. Failure is part of success. Everyone's gonna fail, no matter if you do books or no books. But like I said, I'd rather not read about fishing and go fishing, if that makes sense, right?
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah, that's the mindset I go with right now. And
I was
obviously, I'm
bored
still,
to tears in high school, so I know what you're saying.
yeah.
And it just wasn't exciting for me.
Well,
And
yeah,
uh,
school isn't exciting for me because it's just, and this is no hate on school or anything like that. It's just it doesn't excite me because there's nothing that I'm learning that I'm gonna take in the real world. I already know what I kind of want to do. I have a vision. I have a path. Like I imagine it every day. Like when I'm driving to school, when I'm driving back, I just
yeah.
imagine what I really want to do. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm going to school and learning all this stuff, it's like it's hard because it's like dreading. You're stressed out. You're staying up doing homework. It's like I hate this. But if I'm staying up doing crypto and doing this stuff, this is what I like doing. This is what I love doing. So it's
Well,
not like
what are you imagining, Paul?
what am I imagining? Well,
Mhm.
I have one more year in high school. So after high school, I'd like to go work for my dad. He owns a business, and I'd
What's he
write.
have? What kind of
He's an
business?
what's that? He's
What?
me and my grandpa, or him and my grandpa. They run an awning business. Yeah.
Ah, so you put awnings on homes and
Yep.
businesses?
Yeah, awnings, fences, stuff like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's
All right.
it's it's not a small. It's like a family business like yours. So yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And you've been working there also?
yeah. Over the summers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you like it?
Uh, I want to say I like it. That's not my dream job. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. That's not my passion to that business. No, that's not my forte. But I like to work there because it helps my dad. It helps me. Gets my grandpa, me, my dad closer. Like I said, I'm a family guy, so
Mm-hmm.
I like to be close with my family. Not just that brings us all together. All unites us. But I'd like to make money there and make money and capital to invest in real estate and all this stuff. I like real estate. I like crypto.
Mm-hmm.
um, I want to invest and invest in a business. I have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to build my name up a little bit. I'm just trying to be something different. I don't want to take the normal route, if that makes sense, because I see my mom and dad work 9 to 5, and it's just not that 9 to 5 is bad. I just don't want to work for someone. I want to
Now,
be.
Paul, I see you doing a lot of apologizing. Now, this is what I want to say to you. It's okay to have your own ideas about the things that you want. You should never apologize for it just because somebody else has chosen a different path. That's just my 2 cents, brother.
All right. Yeah, but what I'm just saying is, I don't want to work for someone. I don't want to work for someone like my mom's, working obviously for a different business, and I don't want to work for someone and make someone else more money. I want to be that person in charge, be
Of
be that person
course.
working for myself.
Of
So
course.
yeah,
Excellent. Wow. I mean, you're probably going to go very far, Paul, because when I was your age, I wasn't thinking about these things. It wasn't until I was about 40 years old I started thinking like you are right now when you're 16.
hey, better to start early than later, but at least you started somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Now you're happy where you are now.
That's
Uh,
true. That's what they say. Better late than never.
yeah, that's the terminology. There
You
you go.
know, when I was younger, there I did have the entrepreneurial spirit, but the problem that I was having is that I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted to have a partner, somebody to do it with me, and that effort just proved to be somewhat problematic because people have their own ideas about what they want to do, and some of the friends that I had, they weren't thinking business. They were thinking about having fun and things like that. So,
Yeah,
um, I
and
had
that's
to, when I finally did break through, I had to just accept that I was going to have to do it by myself.
yeah, that's everybody. Everybody has different ideas and different things, and it is hard. It's hard even by yourself. But you said you dropped out of high school. What grade did you drop out of high school? I'm just curious.
Well, it's not that I dropped out. It's just that I didn't show up for about 60 absence. I had about 60 absences my senior year. And it just wasn't enough to recover. So,
Hmm.
I was going to school. I went to school most of the time, but of course the school didn't see that as something that was acceptable to them.
Now, were your parents like a big part of your life at that time, and like going like you gotta go to school and stuff, or were they like we don't care? Or, like, what did they think about that?
Well, the thing was, Paul, is that my parents divorced when I was young, so
Yeah.
I didn't have the benefit of a mom and dad
My apologies.
situation where they were there all the time. So it was like my mom was working and kind of let us do whatever it is that we wanted to
Yeah.
do, which when you put those choices in the hands of a young person, usually it doesn't go very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I see that a lot. Yeah, and it's true, and those people do need help too. Uh,
Yeah.
and my family's stabilized, but I see other people in other lives and other things, and you can't judge someone off what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Because people might doing bad things, but it's for a reason, and I do understand that. So I always try to help people and try to put them in the right mindset, and you know if they're willing or not willing to.
Well, Paul, I mean, the fact of the matter is, I wonder, like what kind of choices would I have made if I had someone, in my life at that time to just sit down and say, "Hey, Anthony, that's a boneheaded move. I don't think you should do that. Why don't you try doing this?" But I didn't have somebody like that. So,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it would have been helpful, and I think that my kids probably benefit from having that now, and
yeah,
so I think what you have is the ideal situation. I'm glad you have it. I think it should. It looks like it's already doing what it ought to do.
yeah. I would say so too. I'm
Hmm.
blessed to have everything that I do have, and my family, and everyone that helps me with what I do. Yeah, I'm very blessed about that.
Hmm.
But my parents were the same way as you, or my mom was at least. Her parents divorced, and it was just a bad situation. But she came out a stronger person because of that. And I feel like you did too. Uh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I mean, that's up to the person. It's like, yeah, you could say, okay, yeah, I did have this rough moment, this rough time. Things were unfair, and it's like, I didn't have the best of circumstances. You could be that way, I guess, and let it, uh, trip you up or hold you back. But there's another side of it too, which is what you just said. You can take those experiences and say, you know what, if I made it through this, I can probably make it through anything.
oh yeah,
And the more difficult times you throw under your belt, the stronger you are, and you are, and so you come out of it and you say, you know what, that didn't even hurt too bad. In fact, I did all right, and I've even excelled from this situation. And like it's like when that happens enough times, you start to realize that there's really nothing that can hold you back unless you let it.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, my mom's parents, they were having problems. I'm not going to go too far into that because I don't want to, you, I don't want to go too far into that. But she
We
came out
all
a
have
stronger person.
problems.
Yeah, everyone does. But she came out a stronger person. She's has a good job, not the ideal job that I would have, but a good job for what a step up from what her parents did, and I want to have a step up from what my parents have.
Hmm.
Become maybe the first millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Some bigger, some better. Obviously, that's always what you strive for. Obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's not I mean, that's not everybody, that's you. And I don't think most people are thinking like you're thinking. So I think you're ahead of the pack. I hope you should give yourself some credit, because most people I think that are your age are thinking about other things. I know I was. So that's why I wanted to have you on the show, and then as I look at your energy and the time and the consideration that you put into your videos, and you seem like a really decent young man.
I'm trying. My parents raised me, so I'm. You know, I give credit to them.
I really liked your video that you did with your grandma.
Yeah, thank you for having me in your contest or even doing the contest. Great idea. I thought it was a scam at first, just like I think Dark Silence said. I
Oh,
watched
really?
that interview too. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, contest? He's DMing me now? I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, wait, I what? What? I'm like, awesome. I get to make a video out of this. Got some Titano tokens. It brings me and my grandma closer. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, I gave her Titano tokens from the contest I won with you. And
Yeah,
I made a video about it.
I saw
And
it.
yeah, I'm just telling for the people out there what happened. But basically,
Hmm.
now my grandma's comes over and she's like, Paul, look, I have some more Titano tokens. I'm like, yeah, that's what it does. I try to explain to her, but I don't think she fully understands what's happening still. I try to
Uh-huh.
explain to her about inflation, deflation, what's happening in the cryptocurrency. I mean, she listens. I mean, I'm happy she listens, but I feel like she doesn't understand. But it's all right. It's
It's
something.
a learning curve.
Yeah.
You know, it's taken me about a year, and I still don't understand a lot of it. A lot of what's said, like in the Discord, goes right over my head. And so I rely on people like you to fill in the gaps. And thank God we have that Discord community, because without it, I don't know. I think that I would understand very little.
Oh yeah. When I see things when I don't recognize in the Discord, I try to look it up, look at YouTube videos. Everything I learned in crypto is from YouTube. My parents are not into stocks or crypto or anything like that.
Yeah.
My dad just heard it from a coworker, which I had contact with a little bit, but he didn't really like texting back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So he would leave me on red for weeks and weeks. So I just said I can't rely on other people to teach me.
Yeah.
I have to go
That's right.
after myself if I really want it. So I started doing a bunch of research on YouTube in school, after school, during school, on the ride from school, back to school. I'm just, obsessed with crypto. And that's why I made a YouTube channel to share my experiences losing crypto, gaining crypto. I want to be transparent as possible, going through everything because I think it's very interesting. I think it's a new thing. I think it's going to be the thing in the future. But yeah,
Is
uh,
Titano like one of your favorite holdings?
yeah, I would say it's the most interesting one. It's one of my most risky ones. I'm in a couple holdings. I'm in Bitcoin. I'm in Ethereum, Cardano, Solana. Even though I'm a little bit worried about Solana, I'm in Avalanche and a couple top bigger cryptocurrencies. But then Titano is like my risky one. So I'm like, I'm like all in on Titano, like looking at this, going through the Discord, seeing the announcements, coming up with ideas that could help, the community. So yeah.
Hmm. And how did you find Titano? Take us through that whole situation?
Yeah. So before I was in Titano, I came to this project called Wonderland. And I think we all know what
Called
happened to Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I put some money in Wonderland. I doubled it and I did not take profits. Probably the dumbest move I ever made. But I say it's a lesson. I lost a lot of money that day. Let's just say a lot of hard earned money. And yeah, I just learned my lesson. So basically it went up and it just crashed down within like a couple days. I was like, I'm gonna hold. It's gonna go back up. It's gonna go back up. Yeah, it never went back up. So I came out like 50, 60% down and loss. And I'm like, I need something else. I need something else. So I watched this guy. I know the Titano community does no longer likes him, but I still like him. Jesse
Uh-huh.
Eckel.
Yeah.
He was doing that Titano video, and
Hmm.
it was hard for me to get the BNB coin. I was very confused on how to get that because the USA like I don't know. I had to go through a bunch of things to get the BNB coin. Anyways,
Uh-huh.
so I got it finally. I got in Titano, and that's how I learned from Jesse Eckel. But yeah.
And so, what was it about that video that convinced you needed to be a part of this project?
Well, first, it wasn't the video, it was the video that showed me about Titano. The
I
video
see.
didn't convince me. So what convinced me was going to Discord, looking at the team, seeing what their history is. Obviously, I think everyone knows about, the $2 million loss and them refunding it. That was a big mover. I saw what they do. Sometimes, they deliver under promises a lot. So I like that. I like transparent teams. They post on Twitter a lot. I like that too. Because one
Hmm.
thing with Wonderland is that they didn't post on Twitter a bunch. and I like how they post. Titano posts on Twitter almost every day about updates and
Right.
burns and weekly summaries and all that stuff. I love that stuff. So
Hmm.
that's what really got me into Titano and believing that this could be it, because it's the original fixed APY one too. So I thought it has a pretty big chance of succeeding,
Hmm.
especially if
And
the team
how do you
there.
feel about that now? You still feel the same way?
Uh, Even more confident, honestly. Even though the
Hmm.
price is dipping or dipped a lot,
Yeah.
um, the fundamentals are so strong, I feel like, and they just keep building on top of it, building on top of it. Like this week was a huge week, and that was like awesome. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm in Christmas, like everything's like happening. My parents don't understand. I'm like trying to tell them like buyback and burns are happening, and partnerships, and I could go on Betswell and bet, and like they don't understand that stuff, but it's like so cool. Like
Uh-huh.
things are the ecosystem of that they're talking about is happening, and yeah, they're going to TikTokers, like top 200 TikTokers. I don't know 100% about that yet, but yeah, they look pretty strong, uh, very
What
strong.
about what is your favorite application in the ecosystem, the Titano ecosystem? Like, is it the aside from the APR? Okay, but I mean, what are some of the applications that
I
you
say
you
my favorite's play. I love
play?
play because you don't lose any tokens, and
Yeah.
you have a chance of winning. It helps the APY from you know inflation so much. There's
Hmm.
only a 32%, I think, of this time. So it's helping the ecosystem. If I win, it's helping me.
Have you won yet? Have you?
No, I haven't won yet. I haven't won
Uh-huh.
yet.
You got a
Yeah,
lot.
one day,
How
one
much you
day.
got in there?
I don't have much in there. I only have 6,000, but I don't have
Mhm.
much Titano tokens in general, because
Yeah.
in one of my videos I bought, or in the video I made a YouTube video, I bought at 17 cents. So
Uh-huh.
I bought it like almost near the top. And if I would have bought now, I'd have almost like 300, 400,000 tokens. But it is what it is. I bought up top. I'm holding until it makes me some profit or break even or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It'll get there.
Yeah. Um, I'd be honest with you. When I first got into Tano, after that hard crash in Wonderland, it just hurt my soul. And I took probably like 2 weeks off crypto. I'm just like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right, get back in, got back in crypto. And I'm like, I want a short term, something that can make me money really quick. I saw Titano, I saw the team. I'm like, this can make me some money really quick. So I was planning to hold it for a couple months and sell out of it, to gain my money back and then see from there. But since the crypto market kind of crashed as a whole, I'm like, I see this as a long term project now. I think it can be a top crypto project in the long term now. So now I'm
Mhm.
believing even more, going through this rough time, that what Titano can be. Yeah. So
What kind of pricing you think this thing can see in say a year's time? Where do you think price will be?
that's tough. That's tough. In a year's time, that's a long time. So I think we could see back up to 1 cent. I mean, I don't want to see like a lot of people say a straight up uh, spike, because that's when people sell. I want a gradual community, strong community, more people coming in, and just people using Titano tokens. So I hope it's like a slow curve that goes to uh, a higher price.
Hmm.
So I see it hitting like 1 cent, and I'm happy with 1 cent. I mean, even though I bought at 17 cents, the rebasing and all this stuff coming uh, at 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents. I don't need it to hit 20 cents.
But could you
Something
imagine
like
if it
that.
did though? Holy
If it
moly!
did, there'd be a lot of people selling, I think. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but
Well, I mean, it was holding its own when it was at 21 cents. You didn't have a whole. I mean, there was people selling, but it didn't wreck the.
yeah, but I think most people bought at that time, so that's why you had that. So, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could totally be wrong. But
I'd be happy with 1 cent too. I really would. Because still 1 cent. At the end of the year, that makes me a couple $1 million. I'd be very happy with that.
yeah, oh yeah, I would be too. I mean, I wouldn't be making a couple million, but I'd be making more than I had, so I'd be happy with
Let's say
that.
you did make a couple million. What do you think? What are some of the first handful of things you think you'd do if you made that kind of
All
money
right.
from
So if I
Titano?
had a couple million, let's say like I had 5 million or so.
Yeah.
That means the project must be doing pretty good. So I'd keep some like probably like 10 or 5, 10%. So that'd be like roughly $500,000 probably in Titano. Because
Hmm.
if the project's doing good, I want to keep it in there. But
Yeah.
I'd take most of it out. Just in the simple reason is I like to diversify now because of the Wonderland tragedy. So I'm big on diversifying. I'd probably put in some in Bitcoin because I love Bitcoin. I think it's the future of currencies, at least. I think it could be. Um, and I'd put some in yield nodes. Yield nodes is like a little generator. It's not 102,000 APY, but it holds like, maybe a 200% yearly. And then I'd take some out, help my parents a little bit. And then I'll try to start a business with the rest of the money. Try to start business, try to start real estate because I don't like to just stay in the crypto world. I'd
Yeah.
rather also come out and build business outside in the real life world, like
Hmm.
real estate, um, what is it called? Storages, stuff like that. Things that could make you passive income. So yeah, I'd spend most of my money on that. I wouldn't really spend my money on new cars or house or anything like that. I'm not big and materialistic. I'd like to build myself out so I don't have to work hard later.
Do you have a car now?
I do have a car.
Is it used?
It is used. It is
Do,
used.
have, do you, have you had to spend many weekends underneath it?
Yeah, there's been a couple of times I had to spend me and my
I
dad.
really value new cars.
Yeah. What's that?
I really put a high value on new cars. I
Oh yeah.
spent a lot of time under my
Oh
used
yeah.
cars.
New cars, old cars, they all break down, right? So
Do you have a favorite? What's your favorite old car? If you're thinking about what do you got? What do you like?
I'm not a
Like,
big car guy, to be honest with you. So I don't really know. I'm not
hmm.
a really big car guy. Um, yeah, but all I can tell you is, me and my dad, we don't go to places. He's more of a mechanical guy. I'm not
Hmm.
really like that yet. I'm trying to learn because I'd like to know how to do that stuff, so I don't have to pay someone to do that. But changing oil and fixing the engine light and um, there's something that broke last week that I had to fix. Me and my dad spent some time under there
Uh,
fixing it. So yeah, it's a fun experience, but not really because it's frustrating when your car breaks down. At least it was in the garage when it broke down, so I wasn't somewhere and my dad had to come get me. So
right.
yeah,
What do you like to do for recreation? Do you have hobbies?
yeah. So I like playing basketball. I'm a sports guy. I play
Ah.
basketball for school. I used to be super big in basketball. Freshman year, I used to be
Mhm.
like that's all I did was play basketball. But as the time grew, I started becoming more into YouTube, into crypto. So then basketball took a little bit of a backseat, but I still like playing basketball. It's a stress reliever. I like working out. I like going to the gym. Uh, I like swimming. I swim a lot.
Mhm.
Four wheel. I like the four wheel when I get the chance to walk in the woods, walk my dogs.
What kind
Spend.
of dogs you got?
I got boxers, two
Yeah,
boxers.
you got one. Is one of them in there in the room?
No, none of them are in here. They're in my parents' room.
So two
It's
boxers?
Yep, two boxers.
I had boxer when I was younger.
Yeah,
They're great. They're great dogs.
great dogs. But the only thing I could say is, I mean, I love them. They're perfect, but they don't live long enough. I could tell you, like, they break my heart so many times. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I wish they
What's
lived
it?
longer.
Uh-huh. You got two boys, a boy, a girl, two
Two girls,
girls.
two girls.
Uh, and
Yep.
how old are they?
Oh, they're both young. They're both like 2.5 years old. They're both rescue, so we don't know exact their
I
age
see.
because we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like to get new puppies. We like to
Yep.
rescue
Hmm.
dogs, though. We don't know the exact age, but like 2.5. Yeah, so they're younger.
We get ours from the pound too.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom loves rescuing dogs. Not 100% agree with that. There's so many dogs that need shelter, that need homes, and we like to bring them in when we can.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can you hang on just one second?
Yeah.
Hang on. Hey, Melody, can you help me out here for a second? I need my assistant again. This light is bothering me, so I need to have her adjust it. Is that all right?
Got a ring light or something?
No, it's a panel light, but now that it's starting to get darker, it's kind of changed things around. Can you
Yeah,
just
sorry about my lighting if it's a little bit too low. It's just there was a
no,
glare when it's so high.
yeah, turn it down a little bit. See if that is better. Turn it down. Oh, that's too much. A little more down. Not too many. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, thank you. Yeah.
So I have
So
a
it was
question for
just
you
it
really
was
quick.
shining right in my face.
I have a question for you. So,
Yeah.
because I listened to your story and it's very interesting. Like I'm like so intrigued by it. It's crazy. And
Mm,
you said you joined the military when you
mm.
were 35 years old.
Yep.
Now, why did you join the military? Like, did you do it to protect the like, for the service or for the money? Or,
Uh, it was a knee-jerk reaction to the towers falling.
yeah,
So, that's a little before your time. But
yeah,
do you know about that
yep.
whole thing?
9/11.
Yeah.
Yep. My
Hmm.
mom tells me all the time how she was at work and she'll never forget that moment and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I was too. So I was at work and, just watching it on the TV and everything, just, that was like the day the earth stood still.
yeah.
So, yeah, but that's why.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. Yeah.
You're
My
welcome.
uncle who passed away recently, like I think I told you in one of your contests actually. I talked about him.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, he passed away recently, but he was in the service too. But feel like one thing that the people that serve us don't get enough recognition for actually serving us. So I like to take my time and say thank you for your service and stuff like that because I feel like you guys don't get enough recognition and stuff. So
Well, Paul, I'm going to tell you something. I do things because I want to,
yeah,
and I don't do it for the recognition. I don't do anything for the recognition except for I hope my family's pleased with my decisions.
yeah,
But one of the things I found in life is that I want to please myself, and so I just do what I want to do. And so it's sort of it does make me feel a little bit uncomfortable when people make too much of a big deal out of, at least in my opinion, too much of a big deal out about my service, because it's just something I just did what I wanted to do. I didn't do it because
yeah,
I thought I should, or whatever. I just wanted to. And I think that my mindset is a lot like yours, where you just have this idea about what you want to do and you do it, because instead of sitting around saying, oh, should I do this or whatever,
yeah,
and then we just do it. I will say this though, with my I kind of knew what I was getting into, or most likely what was going to happen, because I wanted to mobilize and go overseas. I wanted to go to Afghanistan and Iraq, which I did, and it was worse than I could ever have possibly imagined. And so, I mean, when somebody's shooting at you with rocket propelled grenades, small arms fire, IEDs, when they're trying to kill you on a daily basis, it's like it's a real eye opener. And so, it's some pretty intense situations over there, quite a few ambushes. And I think if I had to do it all over again, I probably would choose not to go, for a lot of reasons. I think, for me, some of my experiences there were, not what I thought they would be, and sometimes you think to yourself, wow, when I was over there, I'm not so sure the enemy is actually our worst enemy. Sometimes I feel like we are our own worst enemy,
yeah, for
you
sure.
know. And so, it's pretty interesting, when you're trying to get a large group of people to do one thing a certain way, it's very challenging. And so for somebody like me, it's really frustrating to watch the process break down and not really work too well, or
Yeah,
as well as I think as well as I think it should. So, I think you're going to find, if you really talk to people who spent a lot of time in the military, it's kind of bittersweet.
yeah. Well, I don't know 100% about that aspect, but it's well, I wouldn't say you should take it back because I feel like that made you like a strong man. You know what I'm saying? Like when I
Of
was
course.
talking to you in
Yeah,
Discord, like I could
without a
tell that
doubt.
you had that like attitude. Like when I was talking to
Hmm.
you in Discord, I'm like, dang, like this man's like real. Like I like, I like that attitude in you. But yeah,
It
I
does
100%.
it does do that, Paul.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I think that it prepared me for business, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and to be successful with the business, it does teach you how to make decisions and follow through with them. So, that's why I say it's bittersweet because on the one hand, there's no question that you're going to benefit from your experiences, but on the other hand, you're going to see things you wish you never
Oh yeah.
saw,
Oh yeah.
So I mean that's the other part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
you can't take it back, like you said.
yeah, you can't take it back, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Whenever I
Uh-huh.
hear that stuff, it's crazy.
Well,
And you,
I highly recommend if you could spend a few months in boot camp to do it. I think that it's a very good experience. I don't know about the rest of it, spending six
yeah,
years in the service, but I really liked boot camp, and I think that the things that I learned there were really important for me to learn, even as a 35-year-old, because it did show me that I could do much more than I thought I could.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I watch movies on it sometimes. And I'm like, these guys are crazy. Like, they prepare you for the best and everything. Like, you're the best of the best. So, yeah,
Well, your teachers are definitely on point. I will tell you that. And there were some guys there that were really intense, but I saw that the things that were driving them were, that they knew these kids were going to be going into battle and they wanted to prepare them for it the best they could so
yeah,
that they could hopefully come out of it alive.
yeah. So,
Hmm.
as your business aspect, so I'm intrigued by your business too. I'd like to create
Mm.
my own business when I'm older.
Yeah,
Obviously, I need some capital to do that. I know you started off with $212,
that's
like
right.
barely nothing. I think you said like $100 wasn't even yours, right?
That's
Is that
right.
correct? Yeah.
Yep.
So you start a honey business. So
Hmm.
a kid came up to you. You had no idea who he was, and he asked you to buy some of his dad's honey,
Yep.
and you had no idea who he was, and you
I had
just
no
followed
idea.
through with that.
Yeah.
So did you just start buying like I know you bought some honey, sold it on the side of the road, bought
Yeah.
some more, and that's how so when
Yeah.
did you buy all of his honey or something?
Yeah. I cleaned them out in about 2 months. Uh-huh.
So then where did you go? Like how did you
Well,
scale up?
the funny thing is like, I always say that, you create your own luck. And so the
Yeah.
things that you do, right, are creating a foundation for something to happen. Now, you might call it luck or you might call it something else, but people would come to the table and they would say, "Oh, I know this person, I know that person. They got bees, they got honey. My grandpa was this, they introduced me to beekeeping." And you would not believe just how many people would stop at the table
Huh.
and tell me stories like that. And so, right away, I started developing contacts, and I just would, find them and just ask them, "Hey, do you have honey to sell?" And they would sell it to me, and then I would resell it.
Hmm, that's crazy. So
Hmm.
after the stands, like, did you buy a building or like what happened after the stands?
Well, the stands were my way of developing a customer base. And so for about 4 years, I would sit outside and I would do this. And then I even hired other people to do it. So we'd have like four tables out at once or five.
Yeah.
And so my operations was a shed that I still have. I cut a hole in the side of it and stuck an air conditioner in there, put a light and a bench and an old refrigerator in there with a heater in it, and that's how I would heat up the honey. And so, we'd work in there till wee hours of the night and package everything, and then I'd go sell it on the side of the road.
Huh.
And so,
So,
that was my first shop.
hmm. So, now that you're bigger and all that stuff, do you do
Yeah.
like marketing and like if so
Oh
like
yeah.
like
It,
on
it's it.
Facebook, on Instagram, like TikTok, YouTube? Like
y-
what
You
social media
know,
marketing?
most of our business, right, is commercial and it's local. And so, the customer base that I formed out on the side of the road, that was key. I mean, that built everything. And so, going out there almost every day for sure on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that was, I mean, I think that was worth its weight in ways that you can't fully understand because we didn't have to invest in advertising. In fact, I've spent maybe $1,000 on advertising in the last 13 years,
Huh.
and it's just not, it's just not necessary, or at least it wasn't for me.
So you just have a recurring customer base that just keeps coming, keeps coming. That's like word by mouth at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And of
Yeah.
course, now we have about 150 accounts, so
Hmm.
it's in a lot of stores, and Ace Hardware is being the biggest ones. And so, once that dynamic started to take place, if you could think of it, just kind of try to visualize, like the efforts of one person versus the efforts of, 150 stores with signs in them, with sidewalk signs, and people coming in, and then they're telling their friends and family. So it just like, there's an
Oh yeah.
exponential, you know, uh, uh, aspect to this that you just you can't produce that by yourself, you
Yeah.
know. And so that's where I was at that time. I was thinking to myself, how am I going to create a future for myself and my family if it's just me sitting here on the side of the road? And I knew that that was not going to work, that it had to be bigger than me. And so that's when we got the family involved, and now, got it into the stores, and you got all those people working for you. So that's our passive income.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a great story. I
Hmm.
I want my parents to watch that video of you explaining your story. I'm like this is crazy, you know?
Uh-huh.
I feel like everyone goes through those dark moments, but not everyone sees the light moments that, you that come if you keep, grinding away, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was really desperate. So it's like, there wasn't nowhere. I was really at the bottom of the
Yeah.
bucket, the proverbial bucket. So I think, there does come I find some useful utility in being there. And a lot of times I think people, because we care about other people, we want to like stop them from hitting the bottom. But sometimes I think we get in the way when we do that, because you need to like feel what the bottom feels like
Yeah.
in order for you to pick yourself up, and then have the will and the fortitude to do the things you need to do, because you got to have something looking back behind you to keep you motivated going forward. So like I look back and I say, I can never let that happen to me again, so I must perform. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Hmm. So, on the it doesn't make me uncomfortable to think about those times, but at that time I was extremely uncomfortable because I didn't know what I was going to do with myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Hmm.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Hmm. But I think that if I would have started the business that I have right now when I was your age, oh my gosh, man! I mean, I'd be a millionaire 20 times over.
Well, yeah,
There's no.
but who knows you would have
Mhm.
gotten into honey, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get in these weird situations, but then
You
know what I'm saying?
what the reality of it is like I watch. You grow up watching kids selling lemonade on the side of the road.
Yeah, yeah, I
The
see
selling the
commercials.
honey on the side of the road was no different. I mean, literally with a table, a chair, and a sign,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
mean, do
it.
you live on a main highway or something like that, or, like,
No,
main road?
uh-uh,
Side road?
nah. Just sold it in town, in different spots,
Because for me,
and
I live in a smaller town, side
mhm.
road, like, there's, like, no traffic that comes by.
Oh, I
So,
see. Uh-huh.
yeah, so for me to sit on the side is probably different for you to sit on the side, but still, going to town, yeah, makes sense. Go to
Yeah,
town.
we had like about 1 million people in our city.
Bigger than mine, but
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Hmm. So, at that time, that was the most logical thing for me to do. I mean, I had $212 to my name, so I had to do something.
Yeah, and it worked out big time for you.
Well, what I've learned, Paul, is that, whatever it is that you do, if you put everything you got into it, and you really every day you wake up and you just give it everything you've got, you're going to get somewhere, and you're going to meet people along the way that are going to help you, and add some wind to your sail. It won't be you. If it is you alone in the beginning, sometimes it's like that, but it won't always be that way.
Yeah, so you got in crypto a year ago, just like I
Mm.
did, right? So we're
Yeah.
both like newer to crypto. So how did you
Yeah.
get introduced to crypto? Um,
Well, actually, it was Dogecoin. So I asked my daughter, my oldest daughter, what she knew about Dogecoin, and she said it was a joke. like it was a joke coin. It didn't really mean anything. But I had just read something where it had made somebody a couple $1 million. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound like a joke. And so, I started thinking about it. And I said, you know what? Let me just buy a little bit. This was at around I think like 4 cents or something like that. It was at 4 cents. And so I bought a little bit, like I don't know, a couple $100. And then it went up to like 11 cents, like within, I don't know, a couple days. And I said, well, you know what? Let me buy some more. So then I put like about 3 grand into it. And anyway, I watched it go all the way up to 70 something cents. And I did sell along the way, but I also have some still
Yeah.
just kind of sitting, languishing, waiting for it to go back up. But that was my entry point into crypto.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I was in crypto, I have a little funny story. So when I was in crypto, probably just a couple months, I knew a little bit, but not a lot. Shiba
Hmm.
Inu was the big thing,
Yeah.
and it
Hmm.
it shot up because of Elon Musk, I think,
Yeah.
and it was still shooting up. And my dad's like, "You got to get into this. You got to get into this." I'm looking at the graph. I'm like, "It's already way too far up." And within the next couple of days, it just comes crashing down. I was like, if I would have bought into that, with some, a couple $100, it would have just been all gone. And I just joke
Uh-huh.
around with my dad saying, "You wanted to buy into this?" Yeah, but it's kind of funny.
Well, that's part of crypto. I think a lot
Oh,
of
for
people
sure.
have experience with losses, and I certainly do. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I sold one of my motorcycles and I lost that money like real fast.
Yeah, but I guess how you rebound. You try like Terra Luna. Like no one would have guessed that project would have fell down. And if you did, you were just like guessing. You were just guessing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know
I,
what, Paul? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. That I was in a project called Osmosis, and the people in that Discord for months were talking about a looming incident with that coin,
huh?
and that they knew that something was going to happen. Um, if things weren't changing. And so there were people that saw this coming, or they saw something coming. I don't know to what degree. Okay.
Yeah.
But there were people that understood that there were warning signs. And I don't know how those were handled because I didn't pay too much close attention to it. But when the bottom fell out, everybody was paying
Oh
attention.
yeah. Well, the thing is, if like the big whales that were in there, they had no idea, and I like to follow the smart money, so they had no idea. I would have no clue, because I'm not like crypto savvy like that, so I can't pick up on like the little details that go a long way.
Yeah.
But I was like, you got to really pay attention to what project you're in. Like Bitcoin's like the safest project that you could get into. But then you look for like if you're going into the riskier coins that I think Titano still is a risky coin, but
Hmm.
they have strong fundamentals. So that's what makes me like strong team, strong fundamentals. Like that's what like satisfies me with Titano. That's
Hmm. Well, there's always an element of risk in everything that you do.
for sure.
Same with business, and it's all kind of risky, and you just kind of have to try to make some educated guesses, and some of it is in your control and some of it is not in your control. And I think that's why you hear a lot of people say you better just kind of get all right with the possibility of losing the money that you put in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I always try not to put in money that I need, for gas or for whatever I need or want. Probably, so I try to
Yeah,
just DCA dollar cost average in a little bit here, a little bit there when I make some money, and yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But I have a question. So you're into
yeah.
crypto. Are you into like stocks or real estate or anything like that, or you're just into crypto right now?
I'm just into crypto and I'm into my business,
Yeah.
so it's like, and they both kind of work together because I use a lot of the proceeds that are in from crypto and I put it into my business, so it kind of sweetens the pot a little bit. And, it brings me back to a concept like what you were talking about before, where you didn't take profits. Remember?
I do remember. I do remember.
Somebody put it to me this way. He's like, hey, just imagine like you're sitting at a table and you haven't eaten for 14 days or something, a couple weeks, and there's a big banquet of food on the table. It's like, are you going to just sit there and not have any of it, or are you going to take it?
Yeah.
And this person was of the mindset that it's insane not to take profits. So you've got to find a way to do that, or else, you're going to wind up in a situation where you wished you did.
Yeah, for sure. Now I try to take profits when I'm in profit as much as I can. Just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Yeah. It really did teach me a lesson. Most like it took me down for like a week or two, just because it just hurts. It does
Yeah.
hurt. There's no
Yeah.
denying that. Like if you have emotion, no emotion, if you have skin in the game and you lose it, it hurts. But ultimately it's how you come back. I came back. I'm like, all right, I got to do something. I just can't, if I'm set at a loss, I got to make the money back. So
Hmm.
I'm, mentally strong enough to go move forward. And I'm not scared to still invest in risky projects just because of
Hmm.
that loss. I find it as a learning lesson. I try to learn from the things like what was the team doing then? What was the market situation like? How are they communicating this? Like, everything like that. I try to take into consideration to the next project I get into. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, it's good because if you break into a traditional business, you're going to be faced with the same kinds of issues and the same kinds of problems. So if you're used to dealing with adversity, it's good training because guess what? It's always nearby. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're involved in something deeply, you're going to be faced with adversity.
yeah.
You're going to be tested. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter whether it's virtual or right in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
It's unavoidable. That's what
It
I was
is.
telling you today in the Discord. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true with the crypto world,
Yeah,
for
because
good.
you're gonna doing hitting a jackpot for a day is one thing, but having to hit a jackpot every day for the rest of your life is something totally different. Okay, and when I say jackpot, what I'm telling you is that you're gonna be faced with, you have to survive each day. You got to pay the bills each month. You got your mortgage, your electric, and those responsibilities have to be met 100% of the time, or you're gonna wind out on the street. So you've got to learn how to perform in a repeatable way, in a reliable way, and that's a lot of people have trouble with that. That doesn't it doesn't work out quite that way for many people. And so getting it to work out that way is going to test your mettle.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Like, I try to read books just because I don't like reading books. I'll be honest with you. I hate just reading plain books.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's because of the school made me, and then it just kind of gave me a like I just hate whatever
Yeah.
that. So I read more of these financial books, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I think I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, or I'm still in the works of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert
Yeah.
Kiyosaki.
Hmm.
I like listening to his podcasts too, but I also just finished reading the books Atomic Habits by James Clear. Good
Uh-huh.
book. Uh, I just listened to it on the car ride to the
Yeah.
trainer or like going to work out to school, just like in the car because I feel like listening to music, like I was listening to a podcast, like you got to make your car an asset, right? It's a liability right now because you're paying gas. You barely use it. So I got to make it more useful. So I'm listening to these books, audiobooks and all that. So yeah, it actually changes your life. You wouldn't believe that what an audiobook can do and how it can make you change your mindset and how it can make you more productive. Yeah, it
Hmm.
really does. Yeah.
Paul, when I was driving tractor trailers for a living before I started my business, I started listening to audiobooks just because what you said, I got tired of hearing the same songs all the time.
Oh yeah.
And the things that I heard in there started working on me, and I started feeling like my conscience started to bother me, and my conscience was telling me that I wasn't living up to my potential sitting behind the wheel of a tractor trailer and that I needed to do something different. So, the more I listened to people who were already doing the things that I wanted to do, the more uncomfortable I was with what I was doing. And so, yeah, at a certain point, you're faced with this situation where you're like, okay, I know I should be doing something else, but what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point because same thing, I was working for my dad 9 to 5, and it's not a bad job. It's just really physical labor. He pushed me to like, he always pushed me because obviously I'm his kid, right?
Hmm.
He pushes me to do a lot, but I'm listening to these things. I'm like, I hate just, doing this stuff. Like I want to do something different. I want to have my own business, YouTube channel and stuff like this. But I'm listening to these podcasts and I'm just like so fascinated by this stuff. I'm listening to work, before work and everything like that. So yeah, books really do change your mind, and I do like. I don't like reading, but I do like listening to books. It's better for me
Hmm.
to comprehend. People
Um,
learn different ways, but for
there's a
me,
lot of people
when,
like you, Paul.
yeah, for me when I'm doing stuff like that, like when I'm working and I could focus, like playing basketball or anything, I have like AirPods in. It like it helps me a lot because I could do two things at once.
Hmm.
You know?
And I just want to just tell you, we're an hour into it, and I did tell Poofer. I don't know if you saw this, but I
Yeah, I
told him
did
to
see.
come in. So he said he was right,
Yeah, I
and
think you
so
did.
any minute now he might pop in. So if he does show up over here, I'll just I'll click him in there. And I don't know. Are you able to look into Discord by any chance to see if he's
Let
asking
me see.
questions?
Let me see.
Let me see if I can.
He said he won't be able to join and
Oh,
talk
he
tonight.
didn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
has some
So,
family things coming up.
okay, great. So it's just you and me.
Well, we should have another one for me, you, and him because I was talking to him in Discord. Very nice guy, and I
Hmm.
listened to like his whole interview. Like very smart guy,
Yeah.
smarter than I am. Like he's been investing since 8th grade. It just blew my mind away. I'm just like, listen, just kind of like, oh, some just fell, but I'm just like, holy moly, like this guy's so smart. I want to become instant friends with him because when I see people like that, smarter than me, have more than me, I don't get jealous. I like to like be by their side and ask them like what they did, how did they do it, like just like I was
Right.
asking you some questions because I listened to your story. I'm like fascinated. I'm like I want to do a business like that.
Hmm.
Maybe not honey, but some along the lines of just selling, retail business like that.
Yeah.
And like asking questions, that's like my favorite thing to do. So sorry if I'm annoying and ask a bunch of questions, but that's like I just love asking questions and
I don't find it annoying, Paul, because that's the way I am.
yeah. Like I like to dig at someone's brain. I like to pick it so much. Sometimes the teachers are like, okay, enough, do your work, like the
Well,
economics teacher and stuff. I'm like, I just love this stuff. So I just did research at home and just learned
Paul,
more.
it's important because you're going to wind up doing this. You're going to be mentoring other people when you get older.
Well,
That's the way it
I
works.
hope so.
There's no question about it. It's going to happen. The only thing that will stop it from happening is if you're not here. It's just the way it works. So trust me, you're this way now. When the time comes later, you'll be teaching other people too.
Yeah. But me and Poofers, we were talking and I think his real name's Cody, by the way. So
Hmm.
when me and him were talking, yeah, he just knew a lot about crypto. So me and him are like, texting the chats for the past 2 days, like just learning. I'm trying to learn off him a little bit more about crypto, and
Hmm.
he just knows a lot. Obviously, he made a lot of money, but not even that. He just, but if you're been in something for that long, you know a lot, right? You've been through the ups and the downs and the bull markets, the bear markets, the in between, the sideways markets. So he knows a lot. So I'm trying to learn from him a lot more, just like same with you. So yeah, very,
Well,
very
you
smart.
guys, both of you guys, this is the reason why I had you on. I was very impressed with you because I think it's a big departure from the way most people are at your age. But also, what you're telling me right now is goes directly to why I decided to do this was to bring the people of that community together so that they could get to understand each other better and so that they could, make friends.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's hard to make friends like when you see just avatars, and I think my
Yeah.
avatar is just like the default. So sometimes people think I'm a scammer or something like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's hard to make friends. It's a lot better when you see someone you're actually talking, like you said, on the couch, on next to the fire or some. You're just talking and having fun. Just talking about what you guys are both into. Uh, yeah, For sure, agree with that.
Exactly. What are you drinking there?
Just water. I try to stay
Yeah.
healthy.
Same here.
Yeah, I go to the gym. I try to work out. Trying to get better for next basketball season.
Uh
Um,
huh.
so I'm just trying to eat healthy. I try to watch what I eat for the most part. I feel like
16 years old.
it all it all goes in your mental. Like I read a book about health and stuff, and part of it's sleep. I like to go to bed early. Well, obviously not tonight, but I like to go bed early. I like to wake up early and start doing exercises and stuff like that. I like to run
Uh,
in the morning. I like because it's like my coffee. I don't like drinking coffee.
I
When I
see.
run, it like wakes you up. It's like
Yeah.
just flares you up. So now I'm ready to work, then do some basketball drills, go to the gym, work out, come back home, go on Discord, see what's happening in crypto, watch some videos about the TA, what's happening with Bitcoin because Bitcoin controls basically the market. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm a very what is it
You're a
called?
high energy person.
I'm a person with a schedule. I like to schedule my day. I have a whiteboard behind me, and I like to write down what I want to do. Then I like to check it off after I do it. I'm very like that. So
Uh
yeah,
huh. What are some of the projects that you've done in your lifetime? I imagine that you didn't just start being this way yesterday. So, what are some of the neat things that you've done throughout your life that you're proud of?
projects. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I've done anything special. Yeah, I don't think I've done anything special. I mean, like I said, 10th grade, like I'm not saying like I was just adult or anything like that. I was just a normal kid. I didn't know what I wanted to do. People, my mom would ask me, "What do you want to do when you're older?" And I'm like, "Well, I kind of like talking about sports and I like watching the NBA. So maybe a broadcast or something like that." I used to tell her, or maybe a YouTuber. But
Uh
then I
huh.
actually brought that to life when 2020 COVID came around.
Mm.
We were doing Zoom in school, and
Yeah.
I'd have a lot of free time. You wouldn't understand how much free time I'd have at home. So I'm so bored. So I'm like, I'm just gonna make a YouTube channel, right? So I created a YouTube channel, and not this one that I have right now. I actually created a different one a long
Uh
time
huh.
ago. Me and my siblings created one. We were just so bored. We were like, so I learned how to edit videos, how to film videos, and then I got a camera for Christmas and all this.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't say I'm proud of anything. I just say I was a normal kid. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I found economics to be very interesting. I always like to save money. I didn't spend any money, but this, the economics thing, it just clicked for me. It
Hmm.
really just did. So, and then I
Hmm.
got into crypto, and yeah, that's basically my life. Yeah, but the only person that's economically like me is my uncle. But me and him are not that close, even though I want to be closer with him.
Uh huh.
He's a
What's
financial
what's
advisor.
what's getting in the way of getting closer to your uncle?
What's the way? Honestly, I text him. He doesn't text back for a little. I don't know what's his family life. I mean, we're trying to get closer. We're closer since unfortunately my mom's dad passed away. So um,
Hmm.
they got close. My mom and my brother, or my mom and her brother, got closer after that because they were just not close. They had some scuffles, and if
Yeah.
my mom's not closer, then I'm not really that close. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But my mom and him got closer, and he got a financial advisor job, and he loves investing in stocks. Now, me and him always, like, when we do talk and when he does come for Thanksgiving, we do debate about, crypto and stocks, and just
Hmm.
really fun because I get to pick his brain, he gets to try to pick
Yeah.
my brain. Yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, we just don't talk that much. I wish we did talk more. I try to text him and stuff like that, but it ultimately, we try to set up a time, but then someone changes, and it's like,
Are
this
do
never
do
ends
you
up
live
happening.
do you live close by?
No, he lives pretty far away from me, unfortunately. So he only
Uh-huh.
comes on special occasions like Thanksgiving or something we plan in the future, like future ahead.
Does he know how to use a computer?
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah.
There's you could show him Zoom and just say, "Hey, listen, I need to get on a Zoom chat with you because I need to pick your brain about this, whatever." And you start talking about the things that you guys like to talk about, but try to nail down a time.
It's hard to nail down a time with him. I mean, I know there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way. I understand that, but he's just a busy guy. He's does his
Are you a
financial.
busy
Yes,
guy?
I am, but I find
Uh,
a way because I'm a
well,
kid.
hang
But the
on,
thing
hang
is,
on.
he's
You hang on now. Hang on a second. Take it slow. Take it
I
slow. You tried to weasel getting out of this thing here,
I didn't
moving
try to
it
weasel
away.
out of getting it.
Stop, stop. Listen, listen. Did I not get my way? Did I not want you today?
You did want me today. You did
And
get it.
are you here today?
And I am here today.
That is what I'm telling you to do with your uncle. There you go. That's it. I'm just telling you that if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. That's the
Right.
lesson. That's the lesson. And here you are.
Yep. Here
And
I am.
I hope it will. I hope it's not going to be too. What's the word I'm looking for? Too disruptive. As I know you like to go to bed a little bit more. But if this thing starts going too long, you need your sleep. You just let me know.
No, it's all right, man. I plan to have this. For the people I don't know, me and Anthony were trying to talk about doing this tomorrow, but no, he wanted to do it today. He wanted to say, "How committed are you to doing this thing?" And I'm like, "I'm committed enough. I really wanted to do it. I put it off aside before just because I'm a scheduled person. Like I said, I like to sleep. I like to wake up
Yeah.
early. I like to do my things. And
Yep.
but everything's not going to be in your schedule, and you do got to change to that. And I do understand that. So that's why I'm like,
That's true.
he wants to put me to the test. I gotta meet that challenge. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I do understand what you mean from my uncle, but it's communication is a little bit rough with him. He doesn't answer till like, a couple hours later. And that's like,
Yeah.
it's like, but I do understand. Yeah. I will try to make more of an effort to talk to him
There you go.
for sure.
That's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you could do. But like when Cody, when I interviewed him, I thought I was going to bed because I had already did an interview that day, and the last thing I was thinking on my mind was that I was going to do another one, and I knew it was probably going to turn into another 2 hour deal if I did. But you know what? He was like, well, he was pretty busy too, and I said, well, what are you doing right now? And I almost wanted him to tell me that he had to go somewhere, but he's he's like, I've got nothing going on, so I wound up doing it again.
Yeah.
And so it's just like but I'm used to it. It's like um, that's just the way life is, Paul. Sometimes your schedule's gonna get thrown into another orbit that you're not
Yeah.
usually in. And it just depends what you want to do. It's like sometimes you got to roll with it, and sometimes you take a stand, but sometimes you got to roll with it.
Yeah. I saw this unique opportunity. I'm like, this guy, like, you're really smart. Like, I really am intrigued by what you know. And no, you are like, you're really smart. Like, like you've been in the business. Like, you know what it takes to get there. You know what it is to stay there, and you know what it is to, keep growing. So I'm like, this is a unique opportunity. I'd like to meet you and talk to you in, real life and just talk a bunch about your stuff. And that's why I came here today because I'm like,
Hmm.
it is important to me. If
Good.
it wasn't, I'd be in bed right now, sleeping, waking up for tomorrow. But I'm like, this is important, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I just can't keep pushing it back. Like it's not always gonna be on my schedule. Like I said, I already understand that, but yeah, I really wanted to do this with you. I've been talking to my parents. I'm like, I really want to talk to this guy. This guy's smart, and they're like, yeah, 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 yeah. We'll watch it when it comes out. I'm like, this guy's smart. Like, I really want to be here.
Paul,
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you something, brother. I'm telling you, by the time you're my age, you're gonna be smarter than I am. You're already way ahead than I ever was when I was your age. I just have the benefit of a lot of life behind me and a lot of experiences. And I can guarantee you with 100% certainty with your energy level, okay, by the time you're 55, you're gonna have a lot of experiences under your belt, and you're going to be pleased with what you turn into. Trust me.
I hope
Um,
so.
you will. You will. You would just if you don't change, if you keep doing the things you're doing, you're going to get there.
Because um because I think I could have took CCP classes, which was like a college credit plus because I'm basically done with high school. Um
Hmm.
Junior year, I only need one more class for next year to complete my graduation. But I
Yeah.
have to take a whole load of other classes if I want to play basketball. And I want to play basketball because it's my last year. I've been doing my whole life. I'd love to play basketball. So I have to take a whole nother load of classes
Yeah.
with one class that I actually need.
Hmm.
So I was gonna take college credit classes, just to see what college was like. I don't really want to go to college. And that's why I'm not gonna take these CCP classes, I think
Hmm.
they're called.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna take them, but these teachers are like, Paul, you should take them. Like, you need to do this. And they're like, what do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, trying to tell them, like, I love crypto. I want to work with my dad. He owns a business. Like, I can earn money that way to put into crypto and to put into real estate, to put in my, business. And they're like, Paul, they're like, you really, really, really want to do that? I'm like, yes. I feel like they don't believe in me. Like, my guidance
Yeah.
counselor, my teachers, they're just like, Paul, what are you doing? Like, you're such a smart kid.
Mhm.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they're trying to force me to do the wrong. I feel like not what I would like to do. So
Let me
yeah,
tell you something, Paul. The world is a cookie cutter world,
it
okay?
is.
And you're not you don't work that way. And I'm going to tell you a little story now that's going to help you understand. You're not alone, first of all. But before I started this business, I was working 3 jobs. And when I told the bosses of the three jobs, I told those 3 bosses that I was going to be quitting soon because I was going to sit on the side of the road and sell honey. They looked at me like I had 3 heads. And every single one of them said, you're crazy. And I thought maybe I was crazy because here I had these 3 managers and one owner telling me that what I was planning on doing was essentially like jumping off a building. And uh but but I knew something different inside. I felt like there was something different inside. I felt like this time I was going to really make a break for it because I had reached that point where I said, no matter what, I'm going to do it. But Paul, you're going to find people all throughout your life who are going to be confused by your headstrongness because you're a very headstrong young guy and you feel like you already have a sense for what you want to do and you're very directed. And that really irritates a lot of people who are cookie cutter people. And because they don't feel that way, they can't understand why you feel that way. And so you're going to keep coming into contact with this, and all I could tell you, brothers, is like, let it amuse you or let it motivate you. I wouldn't spend too much time trying to explain it to those people because they're never going to understand the
Yeah.
adventure that you're seeking. And so you just have to march to the rhythm of your own drum. And I think that if you do that, from what I can see here, barring any kinds of horrific accidents or anything like that, you're gonna turn out just fine.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
already stopped thinking about that, and they could think what they want to think. It is what it is. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be a millionaire and come back and go like, hey, look at me. No, that's not. It's not even what I think I could be successful. I think I could be financially free. That's like my ultimate goal, to be financially free, not having to work every day when I like I have to meet bills meet and stuff like that. I would never want to be in that position. But
Hmm.
the one thing that does keep me going, that I am fortunate to really have, is my parents. My parents are fully by my back. They say, "Hey, it's your life. Uh, we believe in you, and if you want to do this, we see what you see. So go ahead and go do it. But it's all
Yeah.
on me. So I got to go do it. They're not doing it for me. It's not like they're behind my back. I'm like, we'll help you with everything. No, I got to go do it. But they believe in me. Like, I got their trust. I got their, they got my side. They're not forcing me to go to college. Like, my mom's parents were like,
Yeah.
you should go to college and stuff. You need to go to college. And that's what I think most people went into college for, like my mom and my dad. And they didn't really need it. They don't use it at all. Not both of them. They don't use their college degrees for
Hmm.
what they were meant for. But they spent a lot of money. But if I really knew what I wanted to do and go to college, I would. But that's not what I
Hmm.
really needed. My parents understand that. My parents,
Yeah.
kind of see my vision halfway through, but they believe that I know what I want to do just because of my actions that I already took. So, it's
Hmm.
it's a good thing that I have them behind my back, because it makes me feel more motivated, if that makes sense, and more like, more stable, that I have my parents behind my back, and that I don't care if these other people think, because they could think whatever they want to. I'm just gonna do what I want to do.
I think
So,
if I had a friend like you and I was your age, we would have probably started a business together and be very wealthy right now.
oh yeah,
you know,
there's. Oh, what I was gonna say is, there's not many people that I see that are like me in my school. Not saying that I'm one of a kind, but I'm saying that's why I like poofers and as an example, because I never see people that are like that. And I'm like, I didn't think they existed, to be honest with you.
Well,
So I'm
look
like,
around you. This is what I want you to see. So look around, okay? You understand that most people don't have their own businesses, right? They're not business people. They work for other people. That's what you see overwhelmingly. Okay, now, and I'm not poo-pooing that because I did it myself
oh
until
yeah,
it was no longer
you need to
satisfying.
start there.
But the reason why you don't have so many is because it requires so much. And most people are not, I mean, I've heard it said many times, that you have to be totally insane to be a business owner. And I understand that, after being in it for 13 years and surviving past all of the, you know, well, I mean, the statistics on business ownership are horrific if you look at them.
Mhm.
The idea or notion that you're going to have a 20-year business, that is a real anomaly. It doesn't happen. And in fact, many businesses never make it past their first year. And so, I guess the thing is that um, it's all up here. I think that is you're displaying the kind of mindset, the kind of attitude that is going to carry you through all the challenging and rough times where a lot of people just like throw up their hands and they're just like, I can't deal with this. It's too stressful. I don't want to do this. I don't want this in my life. Whereas you're probably the kind of guy who's going to be like, that hurt, but I'm going to do it again. And I'm not
Yeah,
going to
just
let
like
this
the
thing,
Wonderland thing.
I'm not going to let this thing beat me. So it takes that kind of person to do it, and you don't have a lot of that. Most people are just like, I want to just take it easy in life. I want to be comfortable. Okay. And if you're into business ownership, like I told you, you've got to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable. And
Yeah,
that's just the way it is. I mean, and I can't put it in any simpler terms.
yeah,
Is that you're going to be faced with moments that you just would rather not. You wish, like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish I didn't have to say this to this person. I wish I didn't have to talk to this person. I wish I didn't have to face tomorrow. But you got to, and you do. Whereas some people go like this and you're just like, no.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. What really got me with your story and what really made me like, wow, that shows me a lot too, because it happened to me a little bit, was that you said that you were at your stand and
mm,
someone you knew came to
yeah,
your stand, some like professional, like in a suit, and he's like, that's what you're doing? Like kind of
yeah.
like embarrassed you. Like you were
Mhm.
like, uh,
I felt this tall.
and when I'm in crypto, like I'm like watching these videos and looking at a chart and they're like, Paul, that's what you're doing. Like my friends at school would be like, that's what you're doing? Like you're doing YouTube? Like what are you doing? Like, that's what you don't want to hang out with us. That's like what you doing. I'm like, they make me feel like a little bit smaller, but then you're like, honestly, I don't care. Like that makes me want to make more videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah, I mean, it does take a strong person to do that. And like, you know what? You don't care. You're gonna do it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn it around. You turn it into a motivator instead
Hmm.
of something that stops you from moving ahead. You just say, "Look, you know what? I'm gonna prove that idea wrong, and I'm not gonna run away from this thing. I'm gonna overcome it no matter what." And I'm telling you, Paul, that is a rare quality in a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, what I
So
see it is I'm not gonna become what you want me to become. I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to follow the pack. I'm just trying to do my own thing because I see what I want to do. Um,
Well, it's not even that people are trying to tell you what to do. Sometimes they just think you can't do what you want to do.
true, yeah.
They're not even, it's not like they're telling you, hey, you should do this. They're just telling you, oh, you can't do that. Who are you fooling?
Yeah.
What makes you think you can do that? You see?
Yeah. I mean, in
And
school, you have your groups, you have your like the nerd kids, you have the athletes, you have the popular kids and whatnot. I'm like
mhm,
not in the mix of any of that. I'm like my own lane, kind of the athlete because I'm pretty good at basketball. Everyone knows me because of that, but I'm kind of a nerd because I'm in crypto. I do YouTube. Everyone knows that. So it's like
yeah.
no one knows what to think of me. I'm just like doing my own thing. So it's fun and interesting, but to me, it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, I think you got a good head on your shoulders, Paul. And, you know, I don't, my hat's off to you and your parents too. I think you got to give your parents some credit here
Oh,
because it looks
they
like
deserve a lot of credit.
they raised you the right way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my parents didn't come from ideal situations, but they didn't come from bad situations either. They came from situations that they wanted to improve on, you know what I'm saying? So they did improve on that. And I see what my parents are doing now. They put, they put me, my brother, and my sister in good situations. And I just want to take that to the next level and put my family and families, like, hopefully my family's family in good situations past that, you know what I'm saying? So that's
Hmm.
what I'm trying to do. That's why I'm, so like motivated to do every morning. I wake up, I'm like, I really want to do something, I want to be productive today. I read Atomic Habits and it said if you do some like if you get 1% better each day, you're gonna get 37% or 37 times better throughout the course of the year. But if you did vice versa, 1% worse, you're just gonna decline 100%. So it's like I gotta be above the edge, be above the person, because you're competing against other people. If you believe it or not, there's someone trying to work harder than me right now, and I think that, and I'm trying to work harder than them. So
Paul, the person that you're really in competition with is yourself.
that's true. Yeah.
And, I'm going to tell you, because at night, you're the one that has to lay down and you have to be at peace with your thoughts wherever they are, with the things that you did that day, the things that you didn't do that day. And, depending upon your level of introspection, you're going to look at those things and say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to do this different. Tomorrow, I won't do that. You're going to do that on a daily basis, and you're going to see that I promise you this. If there's any doubt in your mind, I hope it goes away after today. But you're going to turn out to be a I think something that your parents are going to be like overwhelmingly proud of. You're going to be proud of yourself. You've got all the right tools and ammunition already at your young age. And with your level of commitment, which it sure looks to me like you're totally committed,
Yeah.
in 20 years, man, you're going to be like, I don't know, you're going to be like out of this world, brother. It's not even, you're going to look back and you're going to say, wow, I can't even believe it, the distance that I've traveled. And, I tell you these things just because I see it, and one of the things that I think in this world that we don't do enough of is when we see somebody who's doing well, we don't say so. We just keep our mouth shut, and we don't tell them, hey, good job. Hey, you know what? I see these qualities in you, and you know what? You're gonna go places because if you really want to do the things that you say you want to do, I can tell you that there is it's starvation. It's a Sahara desert in the professional world of people with good attitudes like yours. It's rare. And so, when you see it, you say, wow, I got to tell this person, I got to let them know, I got to make sure they understand that there's a real place for them, and you're going to find, if you stick with this, you're going to be standing almost by yourself wherever you get to. You're going to look around and you're going to be like, I can't believe the playing field isn't more crowded than it is.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope everything you say is true. But
It is
what I think
true.
is it all starts here. It all starts with this connection here with you and then to poofers and then to the Titano community. Like, like you said, you probably wouldn't have done it tomorrow if I would have said, you know what, I want to do tomorrow. You probably would have said no, to be honest. I feel
I
like that's
did tell you no.
yeah, you did tell me no. So I'm like, I need this connection here. I want this connection. I want to learn from you,
Yeah.
like a mentor or something like that. I want connections, and honestly, this is where it starts. Uh, you can't just back away. If I would have backed away, then that would be just one lost opportunity that I could have had.
That's
So
right, Paul. The fact that matters is that I want to teach you, but the student has to be willing to be taught. And
yeah,
if you want to be taught, you got to be teachable. And
hmm
that's it. And so you say, well, how do I do that? Well, you just got to be agreeable right now. That's it. And flexible. And that's the way it works. And when you're in, the beginning stages, sometimes it's like that, where you don't have the power, but I guarantee you the power is coming, brother. You're going to be a powerful man. I have no doubt whatsoever of that. Then once you get the power, the next lesson is going to be how to not turn into a raving lunatic.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
Because once you know you've got the power, then you have to restrain yourself, and that is where, a lot of people lose it once they reach a level of prestige, where they like, oh, making money's easy now. They're rich. Now they turn into dicks, right? They're out
Yeah.
there and they're, cheating on their wives. They got all kinds of things going on. They're blowing family money and all that kind of stuff. So, it's kind of easy, and you see it all the time, that once people reach the pinnacle, or at least what they think it is, they turn into something awful, and that weakness is there for everyone.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, that the next thing that what some of the things you need to start reading on is how, to think that, how to handle those situations if and when they arise. Because Paul, if there's one thing I've learned is that, the moment you say, oh, that's not me, oh, that can never happen to me, you're it, man. You are the prime bait, the prime target. Trust me, everyone, it's coming. And the question is going to be, how do you handle it?
Yeah. You have any good books to read, by the way? Books
Oh
that you
man,
read and you have.
you want me to pull out my list of books, huh? Hang on a second.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for a new book because yeah, some always, you know, recommendation.
Let me look at some of my let me look at my library. Okay, let me go back to uh some some interesting books. So I'll just give you a couple. Blue Ocean Strategy. Blue Ocean Strategy. Okay. And that was, you want to write, are you writing that down?
Oh, I'll just go back in the live stream and
Okay.
rewatch this.
All right. So that's a good one, because that one's going to teach you. It's like, hey, how do you start a business that doesn't have a whole lot of competition in the area where you're at, so that you're not trying to, like, define yourself amongst a multitude of other people doing the same thing. Okay, so that's a really good book. I like that one. The Entrepreneur's Book of Actions is also good. My Big Toe Awakening, that is a really good book. Let's see. What else? What was another? I'm going back over here. The Power of Habit, which it looks like you've already got that
Yeah,
nailed.
Atomic
So,
Habits.
but hey, you never know. Sometimes what I like about is when you're listening to a book or reading a book, it kind of steers you to somebody else, and you
Yeah,
find a real gem, so sometimes
yeah,
it might be that. Awakening Your Inner Genius, which I think that's already happened too. um, but the thing that I really like about these books is that, sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking, oh, well, I'm already thinking that way. I'm already in a good situation, and you think there's nothing left to learn. You're
yeah,
falling right into the trap right there. So, it's always good to be like, hey, have an open mind, and let's, yes, maybe that does sound unoriginal, or I've already got that concept locked away, but it's confirmation sometimes, so
yeah,
that's a good thing. Um, Let me see. I liked Singularity. That was pretty good, by Stephen James. I'm like intrigued by technology, the
mhm,
idea of, or concepts of humanity. What are we? What does it mean to be human? Could you be human if your brain was in a machine? you know
yeah,
just, what does it mean to be human?
yeah,
So, and then I'm also big on emotional intelligence, right, and books that deal with emotional intelligence, because you can have someone that can remember facts and figures, like, they've got a, like, what do you call that,
book smart. That's what I call it.
well, just have like a photographic memory, and they
Yeah,
can bring up facts, but they're dumber than a bag of rocks. They can't get out of their own way. They're always in their own way. So, emotional intelligence is something different than what you would consider book smart, like what you just said.
yeah,
Okay. And, it's like being able to, exist in a world that is will just tear you apart if you let it, and I mean, it's just like when you start to, like, really get a grasp on what you're doing, and you're looking at how the rest of the world is operating, I mean, you're just it's going to make your head explode. And so,
Yeah.
these concepts of emotional intelligence is that you have to find a way somehow to make peace with the fact that, we're all different, that the world does turn, even though it's operating in ways that are, don't make any sense to you. But even in a world that's as chaotic as the one that we have right now, you can still create a somewhat of something like a bubble, where you're isolated from all that craziness. And that is absolutely possible. The problems that we have is like a lot of people get really invested in everybody coming along with them.
Mhm.
And you just can't do that. It's like people who you got your Republicans and your Democrats who are just like, you're bad, no, you're bad, oh, your system sucks, no, your system sucks. And it, if it's if it's that if that's all there is, and it seems like that's what the political parties want you to believe, we're always going to have this chaos. So somehow now we have to figure out how in the world are we going to exist in a system that is corrupt and that is that way on purpose. And so I think that if you're a student of emotional intelligence, it'll help you kind of like weave your way through that without getting disjointed, without getting like upset, without feeling like everything's hopeless, because the president sucks, oh, because my senator sucks, or because my congressman sucks, that it's over, that you can't
Yeah.
enjoy life because these things are happening. So that's why I like emotional intelligence. Daring Greatly, another good book, and that is, something that, like what we were talking about before, where you dare to be different, you dare to take a stand on an idea or a notion that is appealing to you. And I think that one of the things that we have the opportunity to do is you look at that original thought, that thing that is that you want to do, and if it's rooted in goodness, you go for it. If it doesn't require that you step on somebody else or rip them out of their reality, whatever that is, you go for it, you know? And, when you look at people like, I'm sure you probably read some biographies and things like that, but have you read about people like Jeff Bezos, even people that you don't like some of the presidents of the United States, you say, well, how in the world did these people achieve these enormous goal sets? And well, they thought they could. Somewhere inside them, they believed that it was possible, you know? And so, like a lot of people will say, well, I could never do that. And I'm like, well, that's why you never will, because you believe that.
Yep.
So there has to be this idea inside of you that says, you know what, I could do that, and I want to do it, and you know what, I am going to do it. At least I'm going to try. And that you have to at least have that.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to at least, you got to be at least do that. So are you a spiritual guy, like, do you
I'm trying to become more. I'm like I said, books. I know this. What you just said weren't about books, but books in
uh
general, I was not a big fan of.
hmm
Because of school. School just kind of turned books off. When you have like that one bad experience, like it
yeah.
turns off. Well, I was not a big fan of books, but I'm just trying to be more open minded. And I know books helped a lot of people, and I'm just trying to read more books,
hmm
just like you did. And one thing I was trying to read more about too was about sleep because I wanted to be the most productive I can in a day. So I'm like,
yeah.
how can I be the most productive? Like, what's the best time to sleep? How do I sleep? Like, what position? Like, I know, like, this sounds crazy. My parents are like, what the heck? Like, everyone else, like, what the heck? Why are you researching sleep if you want to be productive? Like, anything like that affects, like, the little things. Like, I'm trying to learn more about that stuff too. The
hmm
mental stuff. I'm just trying to be more productive, emotionally strong, mentally strong, all that. So yeah, everything that you said, I'll look back and see what your books what you read says
I
and
got
stuff.
one more recommendation for you, and you don't have to be a churchy guy. This, in fact, it's not a churchy book at all, but it's called Conversations with God. And I guarantee you, it's not what you're thinking. It's not at all. I think that every man should read that book. because I was in a similar state, where you're just about at the end of your wits.
Mhm.
And, how do you pull it all together and make it work? And, uh, all I can tell you is that the book is absolutely amazing. And when I finished reading that book and throughout the book, I've just felt the weight of the world being lifted off my shoulders. And trust me on this, it has nothing to do with the traditional concepts of God, Jesus, or religion, or anything like that. But the book is just simply a man who is working out his thoughts with the world, with the universe that he lives in, and this idea or this notion, it's like, when am I going to get mine? When does I've been trying, I've been looking, I've been reaching, when do the goods come to me? I've been, you think, hey, you've been living a good life. How come you keep finding all of this turbulence, And you know, you're just getting started, really, but you could possibly try to imagine what it's like for people who have lived, decades. They're into their 50s and 60s and have never found success, and have always had trouble in relationships and everything. And you can't know, how it wears on you, and how you just think, like, God, if this is really all there is, like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know what you mean, but, like, what you said in your story, like, I know
Hmm.
like, I like when that you make that connection with that book, like, you're in that position and you read it and you're like, "Wow, that, like, relates so much to me." I don't know what that means, but I can only imagine what that
Yeah.
means, but yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. I'm
So
open-minded
those are my
too.
recommendations.
Yeah. I will look at them after the stream is posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Books, audio books are amazing. I mean,
They
because
are.
you can do other things while you're listening.
Oh, yeah.
You can still be productive and you're still learning at the same time.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Especially with the AirPods, you don't need, wires if you could afford them. A good investment because you could just listen to them and listen to them, and that's all I do. When I'm
Yeah.
working and even at school, even when I'm not supposed to, I'm getting some value listening to, whatever I need to listen to, these books,
Mhm.
podcasts, and most people think I'm insane for listening to that. They're like, most people are listening to music or watching TikTok, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, "Okay." Look back
Don't
down.
worry about them.
Yeah, look at
Don't
that's when
worry
I try to
about
block
them.
people out, and that's the book I was trying to read too. Just trying to block people out because most people try to get in your way, and there are some people that try to help you too. Like you, like I want to make connections with the people that have the same mindset as me or
Yeah.
similar mindsets. So yeah,
Mhm. Well,
definitely.
you're going to find that, with people who take a solid stance on something, they're going to have fans and they're going to have haters. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I love that because when I meet a person that has people that love them and hate them, then they take principled stands.
Oh yeah,
And for me, it's a prerequisite for any kind of real friendship because I'm not interested in fluff. So, like, somebody who wants to spend time with me, they've got to be someone that's on the hunt for a quality life.
yeah. I figured that one out on the Discord. Yeah,
you
I'm
know
glad.
and
I'm
you're
glad. That shows that you're real and you're real to yourself because even though like I wanted to do it tomorrow and you wanted to do it today, I knew that you were real to yourself and that you meant what you said and
Mhm.
you only find the important people that are willing to have the same mindset and be go getters instead of just people that will say I'll just do it tomorrow and I'll just do it tomorrow, never do it. So that made me like wow inspired to do it even more today. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do it this guy. I want to make sure, there's no background noise. So I'll make it late, even though I don't
Mhm.
go late. And, sometimes things hit in your schedule and, that shows that you're committed to something. And
How do you feel about your decision now?
I actually love it. I wish we could do this every week or, poofers or
Why
dark
can't we?
silence. I'd like to meet all of them. Yeah,
Why
I'd like to
can't
meet. What's that?
Why couldn't we?
We can. I'm down to make that happen. I'm down to be on every episode.
I
Uh,
mean, if you think that I'm going to say no to two young people that want to explore life at a different level,
No, I,
I
you
won't.
are, you're a person that accepts what you're doing, and I really appreciate that. Like what you did for the Titano community, doing contests and stuff. I'm like, wow, like this guy is like trying to bring everyone's story. He's giving
Mhm,
away. He knows he's a bigger whale, so he could give away some little side cash to people. But it's like you're just bringing everyone together. You're creating a YouTube channel, like you said. You had no intentions to create a YouTube channel, but you did it
mm-mm,
to bring everyone together but to protect your investments and to protect ours. And
mhm.
it just makes so much, sense. And it's crazy what this opportunity has brought me to. Like I never thought I'd be doing this, again, Titano 2 months ago. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm blessed to be here.
Y- brother, the opportunities are always being broadcasted. You just, it all depends on what your radio station is tuned to. And, I simply I'm very simple with stuff, man. My decision, it doesn't take a lot for me to decide what to do. I simply just do what I want to do. If it works, if it fits in my schedule, if I think I can do it, I do it. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. I don't give it any more thought than that. Um, and I have some priorities. It's my family and my family business are number one. But this Titano is now interwoven with my business and my family, so now it has become like a member of the family.
Yeah.
And so, for me, it's very difficult, maybe even impossible at this point for me to just be a bystander. I can't just sit back and watch other people do this. I have to be involved in it some way.
Yeah. Talking about Titano, where do you see Titano in a year?
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you straight talk, real talk is
Yeah.
that I have no idea because I don't know the developers. I haven't had a chance to sit down with them. Now, what I will say, I mean, because there's just so much that you can learn when you can look at somebody in the face. All right.
Oh
When you
yeah.
have a conversation with them, when you talk to them, when you listen to what they say, when you listen to what they don't say, that tells you a lot about the person. And so I have never heard those people, so I can't really say. But have you also heard the saying that actions speak louder than words?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I look at what they have created and I look at what is growing from the creation, and I feel satisfied that these people are really trying to make this work.
Oh yeah.
So I think that, if it was going to be like a rug or something like that, it already would have happened.
Oh yeah.
um, I saw when they out of their own pockets they refunded the people that got the hack. I thought that was really something that you just I've said it before that when you lose your money in crypto, the idea is that it's gone. You've
Oh yeah.
lost it. It's over because it's the wild west of finance. And these guys said no, that's not the right thing to do, and so they're refunded. And I think that was a very strong message from them. And they didn't have to do that, and they did. I don't think anybody expected them to either.
Mm-mm.
So I also have had conversations with David. I have listened to David, certainly listened
Oh
to him
yeah.
more than I have talked to him. But he seems like an authentic person that has a lot of insight. He seems like a good family man, which means a lot to me. And I think that, I am satisfied with the idea or notion that they're in it for the finish.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, whether what happens, economically, with politically, those kinds of things that can have an impact on the program, I don't know. Those are things that are not in my control or yours or anyone else's, and we'll just have to see. But I believe that they will do everything in their power to make sure that Titano is here 10 years from now. I think they seem to be that committed. And for me as a businessman, that is everything, So if it fails in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, I mean, there's no hard feelings here. You give it your best shot. I mean, there's no guarantees in
Oh yeah.
business. you
And that's
know?
what you have to
And
go in crypto. You have to
so
realize.
that's right. And so that is the long answer to a short question. But I do believe in the project, which is why I'm here. And I just want to help out and do whatever I can to make it better.
Now, if I think you said you were in the long haul with this too. So if you made a couple
Mhm.
million, would you stay in Titano?
Oh
Keep
yeah,
some in
of
Titano.
course.
Oh
No,
yeah.
no, I'd stay in Titano.
All right. Just wanted to make
Mhm.
sure, because some people take all the money out and, just spend
Yeah.
it. But
No, I'll
I
never
feel like
do
if it's a
that.
good project, you keep it in. Or
Yeah.
to eat, obviously you take your profit, but then,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
keep letting it
I
grow. Yeah.
I would try. I would be happy if I could take out, if I could withdraw over the course of a year about 1 million to 1.5 million. I'd be very happy with that.
I would too.
Yeah. I mean, it's because I have my business too. So those two together, I'd be living uh, in ways that, no one in my family has ever had that kind of success. So I would be very happy with that. Yeah. And I'm sure
Yeah.
my kids would too, and my family.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah. Titano team, they super committed. I mean, I love the Titan talk. I know you've been on one. Uh,
Hmm.
it brings a new aspect, a YouTube aspect, brings more viewers, feels more connected. I like Austin Clark. He seems like a real,
Hmm.
authentic guy. I
Busy.
haven't talked to him really, but you
He's
probably have.
busy. He's a
Yeah.
busy guy.
Yeah, but he seems like he's super committed in Titano too. Like he loves
Yeah.
the team, and that gives me more confidence. The team itself, like Summit, they answer every question I give at them. They answer it,
Hmm.
whether they can or can't. Like if they can't answer it because it's still in the works or whatever, they
Yeah.
answer it to the best of their ability. Yeah. Um,
Paul, there was a lot of people that didn't believe in what I was doing when I started my business 13 years ago. And just like there's people who don't believe that this thing will be here tomorrow.
mhm.
And, um, somebody's right and somebody's wrong. And you've got to pick a side. But once you pick a side, there's no going back. I don't understand this whole idea of like if you're invested in Titano, you actually going into the Discord and you're talking shit
Oh
and
yeah.
trying to. I just don't understand, like, why would you do that? So part of what we're doing here and taking part of right now, you and me, and my efforts with the contest is to kind of like overwhelm that dynamic in the Discord so that we can just kind of like sweep that shit out the door. If we fill the space with more optimism and good vibrations, those kinds of people won't want to be there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a
And
criminal wouldn't want to go to heaven.
yeah.
Why would a criminal want to
And the
go to
thing is,
heaven?
I don't know if it's even I'm not trying to disrespect any Titanium holders, but I don't know if it's even Titanium holders. It might be like other projects trying to get in there, trying to create havoc.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see it planned, like you see like all of a sudden
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 people, and then they're like, "What the heck's
Yeah, it's a
happening?"
swarm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
sometimes you see that, and
Yeah,
it
we just
is
have to learn how to dispatch those people. You got to learn how to get them out.
yeah.
And the best way that I've told the group of guys I'm working with is just try to get them on my show. I'll put them on the show.
Oh yeah. I was
Make them
actually
do
thinking
it.
that too. If we
Hmm.
could have like a debate between like, a couple Titano people versus a couple like, haters or, fudders or whatever you want to call them, that'd be awesome debate.
They won't do it because they know they're going to be faced with tough questions and also possibly outed as not real investors because
Oh yeah.
there's no you can't make any logical sense out of somebody that's invested in Titano talking shit about it.
Oh yeah.
What dynamic secures your investment when you're talking crap about it to your business partners?
Yeah, it doesn't. It
It
doesn't make
doesn't.
any sense. And I see you
So
say it
they're
all the time, like, why are you talking trash about your investment? And if you're not
right.
invested, you shouldn't be in there. But
Hmm.
it just doesn't happen. Probably businesses try to take you out sometimes, like by
Exactly.
doing some and
That's it. That's
no,
exactly what it is.
yeah.
So you got to call them out, but a lot of people are like, well, they feel like they can't know for certain whether that's the case. But, I just would be like, all right, so if you're telling me that you're not, an agent from the other side, then you've got to explain the logic to me on trash talking your own investment.
Yeah. But there's a difference between trash talking and emotionally invested in something because there are some people that are like worried about their investment and I understand
Mm.
that too because sometimes I get worried and I need someone to be there to say, "Hey, this is what what's going on," and that's why Summit's like such a big part. He's that person that comes in and tells you what's happening. But I just want to make sure there's a difference between that because sometimes I see
That's why
people,
we're doing this show.
yeah, sometimes I see people emotionally, attached and saying is this and this, and they're calling them fudders, and I'm like, no, that doesn't mean that they're a fudder. When they're a fudder, that's like talking trash. This project's going to zero. When I see that, I'm just like,
That's why we're doing
damn.
this, Paul. And can you imagine when we have like 100 videos that these concerned people can sit down and watch these things, and feel better.
Yeah, and they
And,
see that we're real investors. I'm in the same
yeah,
boat as them. I'm,
that's right.
have some money
Yeah.
in here. I'm not big. I'm not rich. I'm middle class, if not. Uh, and I'm, 17 trying to invest and make some money just like everyone else. Obviously there's some people richer than me. There's some people poorer than me, but we all have the same uh, goal is to make some money, be tight, uh, knitted community and thrive together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You think that, when I look at the price and see where it is, you think that I feel, euphoric. It's like, come
Mhm.
on, but this is part of the game.
It
You
is.
know, you can't make money if there isn't volatility. That's just a fact. It's a fact of crypto. There is no such thing as one green candle that just never stops going up.
Yeah, I
It
mean, the
don't
thing
work that
is,
way.
when I try to explain to people, because some people like, at my school are saying like, this investment's going down, you lost a lot of money. Well, I try to explain to people, projects don't go straight up. It's not the S&P 500. This is crypto. Uh, we have dips and dips, sometimes if it's a lower project, it has higher returns, but lower dips. It gets hit harder, but it hits higher. And it happens with every project. Even I
Mhm.
try to say Amazon. Amazon, like when it first began, it went up and then went down like 90%. Everyone thought it was dead, but obviously they started creating good fundamentals, kept going at it. They didn't give up. And that's why I think our team is doing right now. They're not giving up, creating more fundamentals, more use cases,
Mhm.
and blocking out the outside FUD, which I really, really think that's a great team. Same thing with Cardano. Cardano's down right now. A lot of people say bad project, but I really like it because Charles Hoskinson's, which is the
Mhm.
founder of that
Yeah.
project, he's creating a lot of fundamentals. He's built Ethereum. He was like a co-founder to Ethereum, but he didn't like what the project was going
Mhm.
through. So he created Cardano, and it took off because of community. But now it's down like a lot right now. But I still believe in it. I want to get more of Cardano because I believe that its fundamentals are
Oh,
outweighing the price.
it's
The
it's it's
price
a
is
buying
sometimes
opportunity.
deceiving. I feel like the price.
Everything's on total sale.
Oh, for sure. But there
Everything,
are some coins that are going to get
including
wiped.
Titano.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I wish I had more money to buy right now. You know, but you can't always think that way. You can't always think, I wish I would have bought now.
Well,
It
I
is
can
what it
tell you how
is.
to get. I can tell you how to get more money to buy it. You want me to tell you
Work.
what to do? So I've already done it. So it's not even a question of will it work. Um, but I'm telling you, you're going to find the busiest road that you got in your city, and you're going to sit there with a case of honey and a table and a chair and a sign, and just sit out there and sell it. And I guarantee you that, before too long, you're going to build a good business. You're making, maybe $300 a day. I don't know what kind of traffic you got over there. You say you don't have some, but there's got to be a
Yeah.
busy part of town somewhere.
Yeah, there is a busy
And
part of town.
you know what? It works.
There's
So
no
you're gonna find a
excuses.
beekeeper. You find a beekeeper in your area, and you tell them you want to buy a 5-gallon bucket of honey. You go to Walmart. You buy yourself a case of jars. You put the honey in the jars. You make your own label with your printer at home for the top of the jar, and you go out and you sell it. And listen, I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you something. The last year that I sold honey on the side of the road, I sold over $225,000 worth of honey.
That is crazy. On the side of the
So
road, too. That's
on the
crazy.
side of the road. So I'm just telling you what works. I know it works. I've proven it time and time and time and time again. I was my own worst enemy for the first 6 months. You know that every time a car stopped, I thought it would be the last one because
Oh
I
yeah.
just was like, oh, this can never, this will never. They can't keep this. This can't keep happening. Not
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you that if you want more money to buy in crypto, you got to go out and get it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm telling you, you could do it with honey. I've done it here, and I've taught other people. I've got 4 other people started in honey businesses,
Hmm.
and it works.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be just honey. It could probably be
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, be
Yeah.
cutting grass
I
or
feel like you can
whatever.
make money anyway, to be honest. If you have the
Uh,
entrepreneurial mindset and just keep building off with the profits, because I feel like what some people do is take profits, like buying like a nice hat or whatever they do, instead
huh.
of reinvesting in their business, which is what you did and which is
Yeah.
what I love doing to just reinvest because I'm not like super materialistic. I don't need much to be satisfied,
Well, we're
but to
talking about buying
reinvest.
crypto here. We're just talking about buying crypto. You want
Oh
extra
yeah.
money to buy crypto,
Oh yeah.
and I'm just saying that the honey thing is something you could start on the cheap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Obviously,
Mhm.
there's other endeavors you could take, but you're going to have to spend more up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like if let's say you wanted to be a landscaper, at cutting grass, you can make a fortune, but you got to buy a lawnmower, you got to buy a weed whacker, you got to buy a trailer, you got to have a truck, you got to get, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
there's some initial outlay there, but it's a good business, and it works. I mean, you're not afraid of sweating. And
Mhm.
if you live in a place where grass grows, not like here, we don't have grass
Oh,
right
yeah?
now.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're
I
we're
never
in the
been to
desert.
Arizona, so
So, Paul, this part of what I'm trying to get at is that, is when you're pave your own way. It's like whenever I want to get something, whatever it is, whether it's put more money in crypto or get a motorcycle or whatever, I just do more work. I'll go out and get a new customer. I'll go out and do whatever. And that's the point that I'm trying to get across here is like, don't get used to being like, oh, I wish I could do this. No, just do it. Find a way to do it. And if you can't figure out a way to do it, then you talk to somebody who believes there are no roadblocks and you say, hey, listen, you're a pretty optimistic person. How would you go about getting this result? Um, just tell me what you think you're doing. Now, you don't have to do what they say, but you're just picking somebody's brain and you're just listening to what they have to say. And I think that, that's probably the biggest roadblock that people have is they don't have someone to go to and say, hey, what would you do if you were in this situation? And just listen to what they say
yeah.
and see what their thoughts are on it. Because I guarantee you, if you're just sitting on, well, I can't do anything because I don't have the money. And I mean, first of all, I can't even understand that logic. To me, it's like, well, how would I get the money? I just got to figure out a way to get the money with as little money up front as possible. And then you just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to tell everybody who's watching here, you want more from Titano, you got to develop and have the idea, the mindset that, uh, it's all in your power to do so. It's just that you've got to figure out what you're going to do. And if you can't figure out what you're going to do, then send me an email and I'll tell you what to do. you might you might not want to
Let me
do it,
know.
but I'll
Yes, sir.
tell you what to do.
Yeah, that's why I wanna keep in contact with you because I feel like you're a good source of knowledge. I could pick your brain whenever I need to. I might not have all the questions today right here, right off the top of my head, but there's
Of
times when
course.
I come and I'm just like, "What the heck do I do?" I ask my mom and my dad, uh, and
Yeah,
then you're just another source that I could use,
that's right.
and any connections. That's why I like building connections. I heard like my mom's a salesperson and she's all about building connections. And that's what I have learned from her is you want as much connections as you can. That's how you get place to place. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you see I have a question for you. Is there like
Sure.
anything Titano should do to be better? Like is there any improvements that you would do to Titano?
Okay. This is how I'm going to answer that question. Titanic was nothing without you, without me, and the rest of those people that are invested in there. Now, we're also nothing without Titano. So it is a team effort.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think the secret weapon to Titano is you and me. It's us taking ownership of this project and helping out in any way that we can. And I think that every person who gives a damn about their investment should be asking themselves, what can I do to help this project? And you need to do something. Now, if you've got 40,000 people all doing a small thing each day, it turns into a great big thing at the
Yeah.
end of the day. You see?
Yep.
So I think that that is where it's at. Is the project is obviously nothing without its people, and the people, you know, without the project, or they'll have to go to another project. But the project does rely on you and me. It relies on us being so. When people ask me like, "Hey, what do you think the devs should do?" I'm just like, look, I don't think that way. They've already proven that their system works. You
Oh
know
yeah.
what? Those guys, they got it to 21 cents. Okay. I mean, in my book, I'm like, okay, you know what? They proved already that it can be done. And so I think that, what we have to do is get put on our big boy and big girl pants, okay? And what that means is that stop crying when things don't go your way. Just try to figure out what in the world you can do to make the situation better. I mean, because the fact of the matter is that, we can't we don't have a direct line to the devs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Now, if you want to have something like that, I'm trying to develop that right now.
yeah. I'm not trying to say direct direction to the devs and talk to the devs, but what I'm saying
Hmm.
is just ideas for Titano. Like I came up with an idea, and I want to share it with you here
Mm,
for Titano,
hmm.
and it's based off your contest. You inspired me with your contest by
Oh,
giving
good.
away,
Hmm.
yeah, by giving away with Titanos for people to tell their stories.
Yeah.
And if you would have just said, "Tell me your story" to everyone, I don't think you
Hmm.
would have got a great response, to be honest with you.
Probably not.
So you had a bribe, not bribe people, or like when you have something at stake, people like go full out.
Hmm.
Imagine they do research. They're trying to win that Titano. They're
Right.
all out for it, right?
Hmm.
So I think the Titano team, because I'm not 100% sure, but I go into suggestions tab and there's a lot of suggestions in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much they look at it. And
Hmm.
I see David was the last active like 6 days ago. And I'm not saying that they have a bunch of time in the world to go check it every day. But what I'm saying is maybe hold it like a contest, like once a week. They go in
Hmm.
there and choose a winner and try to apply it and give them credit, like maybe $100 worth of Titano or something along the line. So people are trying to give great ideas in the
Hmm.
suggestions tab. So Titano could implement and make a community based project. So people are more
Hmm.
like want to So that's just another way to make Titano and make the community stronger and make them more want them to want to do something. Because I feel like people overlook the suggestions tab and don't put their ideas in there just because I feel like they don't think people are looking at it uh, or their message won't get noticed or anything like that. But if there's something on the line, I think people tend to go all out for it.
Uh,
So
you know, in response to that, like if coming from the business, my business experiences, I'll tell you that I have people who write to me and tell me what I should be doing also with my business.
mhm.
And some of them are good ideas, but guess what? I just don't have there's not enough time in the day to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
that's
it's like, so with these devs, we don't really know what they're up against, and if they're trying to keep costs low and not hire additional developers, and maybe they have hired many, we don't know what the situation is, but they probably have to operate it right now in a lean capacity. And
oh
so,
yeah,
I could think of reasons why they wouldn't want to add too much since they're already working on stuff right now, you know? But so it's really kind of hard for me to like um to
yeah.
try
I'm
it
not
like
trying to tell. One second, I'm not trying to tell the devs what to do. I'm just saying that's just me looking to make the community stronger. Because I saw this one, and I'll let you get back to your thing in a second. But I
yeah.
saw this one suggestion, and David did reply to this one, and I saw it, and it said something about play, like how it's deflationary. So, and credit to whoever said this, I don't really remember, but it went along the lines of saying something about play, about people get discouraged if they don't win play, so they pull out. And to encourage them to stay in there, they should like the longer you hold it, the better chance you get of winning the play protocol. And David
Hmm.
said he didn't want to do it because it take a lot. the change, and I could understand that. But instead of doing that, would it be better to change the APY, make it like 5% and 10% if you hold a month, and 15% if you hold another month, to keep increasing it to like maybe 200% max if you don't withdraw anything, to keep people in play, to make it more deflationary. Things like that, things that can make the deflationary things more creative, more strong. I feel
Mhm.
like, and I do understand from your point, there's not enough hours in the day, and every businessman that's working super hard knows that, because you want to do a lot more things. You have a lot of things planned, but you can't get it all done, and I understand that.
Let me
Uh,
tell you my approach to how I think about this, okay? Because I want everybody to be like, be able to sleep at night and not have their nerves always on edge. Uh, don't you think, let's think logically here, that do you think that those guys have been around long enough now to get just about every imaginable piece of advice that they could ever get?
oh, for sure.
It already exists, okay? And I guarantee you that if and it sure does look to me like they are in the business of being here tomorrow, all
Mhm.
right? They're on it, and I trust that they are on it. I give more trust to that than I do somebody who's not in it. Okay,
Oh yeah.
investing $300 or $1,000, even $20,000 into Titano is not the same thing as being the owners,
Oh
the
yeah.
the the builders, behind it. It's a totally different deal, and these guys have invested in this also, and I'm sure at this point it seems totally obvious to me that they want to protect their investment also. So I think that they're already in possession of the best knowledge that is available to have, and they're going to implement what they think they should do and what they want to do. Now, our job as investors is to decide whether we want to be a part of it or not. And I think that it's in our best interest to understand our place in this thing. And, it's not to bully these guys into a position that is just going to force them to ignore you, because they're going to do what they're going to do. Our job is to decide whether our vision jives with their vision. And you either pull your investment out, or you say, you know what, I'm going to give this thing a shot. Because ultimately, boy, at the end of the day, I'm just saying this is so that you can lay your head down in your pillow at night and sleep and not worry about this because the price is doing this or it keeps going down or whatever. Just trying to give out ways to make peace with what's happening over here. And ultimately, we there's only a certain amount of influence that we can have. Now, I'm trying to develop a platform here where we can indirectly talk to them if
Yeah.
they're listening, and they can hear the things that we're saying and talking about, and they can decide. But if they
Yeah.
see that there's a strong movement, maybe they will.
I'm not trying to bully the devs by any means.
Yeah, I know.
If that
I'm
was
not
the thing you were
accusing
getting from, I just see that they have a suggestions tab, and they have it for a reason.
them.
And I believe that's to get the community thinking about what they should do next and giving them ideas. And I think that was just a good idea. They could accept it or they cannot accept it. I'm not going to
Hmm.
lose sleep over if they don't accept it or not, because I do believe what they're doing is they're trying to protect their investments, our investments, to the best of their abilities.
You're right.
So
And
I'm
could you
not worried.
imagine if they had
Yeah.
to like answer every one of those people?
Yeah. I'm not saying answer every one, but
You know,
uh, Titan Talk, pick one suggestion and give it credit or something like that. But obviously, there's not enough hours in the day. So if they
but you know
don't
what,
implement it,
Paul?
yeah,
You could do it.
I could do it, but I can't
You could
implement
take
it
one of
though.
those.
I can't
You,
implement it in Titano.
you can't implement it, but you can talk about it. And I already know you're relentless, so you can figure it out and see if hey, does it hold water? Does it make sense? And just say, hey, you know what? Let me just take a look at this on my show and see if it makes sense. And
True.
see, this is what I'm talking about. You and I and everybody gets to decide what we can do and what we can't do. And if that's all you do, that's a big thing. Because
Hmm.
look, you're going to influence other people. Other people are going to watch that, and maybe the devs, it'll get to the devs. And so that's all I'm doing, just like right here. What I'm doing is like I'm just doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I think is right. I think it's smart to do this for the whole community, for everybody in it. For you, you're a YouTube influencer. I'm breaking into that area also. So it's a smart thing for us to do, right? To look out for each other.
Oh
And so
yeah.
we do it and we see where it takes us, but it's positive movement. Okay. It's not one that's rooted in complaining, antagonism, and negative emotions or feelings. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So we just move forward.
Oh yeah. And this is what I like about your mindset. It's instead of they can do it, it's me can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like instead of them taking action, I could take action to make it, a step above. And that's I think that's exactly what you did with this, like you explained about this YouTube channel and the contest. You didn't talk to the devs to do it. You did it yourself.
That's
And
right.
now this
You
is
know
where you
what?
are. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something here. Don't forget this. This is something you're going to remember. Remember this. One of the best little truisms I've ever come across. And it's here it is. If it's to be, it's up to me.
It's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me.
That's it, brother. It's not like, hey, you need to help me with this. Please help me. No, you prove the concept first. Once you do that, then somebody's going to come help you. Trust me.
Yeah.
You'll get all the help you need. But first, you might have to prove the concept.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I know a lot of people don't like that. And well, too bad. Because guess what? If you want to have success year after year after year, you have to develop that mindset. If that doesn't make sense to you, then you won't be success in your business.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's hard to do. It's hard to develop that mindset.
yeah.
But yeah, you have to have a certain mindset to be successful in this world. And it's true. You can't be friends with everyone. You can't hang
Mm-mm.
out with the wrong crowd. You have to hang out the right crowd. There's lots of things. And it's
You're not
almost
going to
like it's
please everybody.
yeah, it's almost like it's a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice a lot to be successful.
It's a lonely road sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't experienced that yet, but I will. I probably will experience it, and I know I will experience it.
You will.
And
Trust
yeah,
me, when you take a stand on something really important to you, you'll see. You'll see, brother. You'll see people who are just like, well, look at today. If you don't believe a certain thing, like they just automatically discount you. They want you censored. They want you killed. They
oh
want you
yeah,
thrown in jail just because you believe something.
yeah,
I mean,
it's,
and the thing is, like the way I just don't understand that because if I'm talking to you and you have a different opinion than me, I'm just going to be like, okay, well, then your opinion's different than mine.
yeah.
Let's
Censorship is
see.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
I mean, let's see who does better with that mindset. That's my thing. All right, well, let's put it to the test,
yeah, and
and
yeah. Freedom of speech is not there, but Elon Musk, I think, is trying to change off Twitter a little bit and stuff. But yeah,
yeah.
it's very scary. It's very scary.
Well, you're going to see, man, that there's always people who are going to want to put their hand over your mouth, Paul. Always. There's always going to be if you've got your mouth open, there's somebody that wants it closed. And we have to decide at that point, are you going to let somebody put their hand over your mouth or not? That's
Yeah,
it. That's the choice. That's the decision. And my decision is if anybody puts their hand on my mouth, I'm going to break their hand,
yeah. It's the
you know?
mindset you have to have.
So, I mean, um at the same time, though, I do think that, you can create like a force field around you, sort of, by being your authentic self. And those people, most of those people will be like afraid to approach you. They're going to be like, oh, he's too strong, and they won't even try. So that's why I say, man, live without fear because you never know who you're influencing. You've got people that want to come after you, but they won't because you come off too strong because you are
Yeah,
too strong. You
yeah.
see, so you're
And
your own protection.
yeah, and when you have that mindset, you attract more strong people, I believe.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's
Yeah. So you
yeah,
create your army.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm creating my Titano army.
heck yeah. Am I one of them?
You're in the group, man.
All right, nice. Because if I didn't join this, I want to be one of them. I know that for sure. In the Discord. You're a tough man though. I like it. I like it. That's why I'm here because your gravitational pull towards me is like you just influenced me, and I feel like a lot of Titans a lot in the aspect of your grit and your tough like of what you've been through. And a lot of people I think in the Discord could relate to that. Uh
Hmm.
no matter what age they are. I can relate to that and I'm 17. Like I could relate
Hmm.
to struggling, trying to pick some up, but then people are making fun of you and trying to put you down. And I think
Hmm.
everyone can. At
Hmm.
one point or another, people went through that, and that's why I
Hmm.
think you're such a likable guy is because people
I'm
can relate
fair.
to what
That's
you go.
why.
Yeah,
I'm fair. And I don't ask anybody to do anything that I don't do myself. That's the second thing. Ever. I'll never ask you to do something that I haven't done already or am willing to do. That's the thing. And I I've been in about every bad situation you could possibly imagine. I'm telling you, Iraq was probably the worst. Okay, but it really opened up my eyes on a lot of things.
yeah,
So you have to be fair, all right, but you have to be decisive, and you have to have forward motion, and that's it. And after a while, when you've been doing this a while, Paul, your decisions are going to be good almost all the time.
I hope
So,
so.
you don't have to worry about that. And after a while, people are watching and they say, you know what? Most of his decisions are good. I can go with that. I can roll with that. And that's better than no decision at all.
Yeah. And I would say, like, when you're building your business, like the first 13 years, I think you said it's tough. You're like pushing an uphill battle, and that's
Hmm.
all it is until you get to that hump, and then it starts getting easier, and that's like more of a downhill. Not that it's all easy, but it's easier
You know
once you're.
why it's easier, Paul? Why do you think it's easier?
I think it's easier because you built connections. You went through the rough times, so you know how to respond to it, and yeah, I think you built something and you know what it took to be there. Like if someone, like you said, if someone took your honey business away, you will know how to build another business.
Hmm.
Someone that never built a business will never know how to build that type of business. And that's why I think because uh, if
You're
someone takes
smarter.
away, yeah, what's that?
You're
Yeah, you're
smarter.
smarter, yeah.
You grow smarter. That's why it's easier.
Yeah, if
You
someone
know,
takes away what you have, you know how to rebuild it. And that's I think, yeah, the
I,
yeah.
Paul, I was faced with this about 2 years ago, and I was sitting down. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, was that an accident? Could I do this again? What would happen? Do I really know what I think I know? And so I started a leather jacket business, and I proved it to myself. And I took one leather jacket, and then I bought another and a third one, and then I cleaned them all up and made them look like they were new, and I sold them on eBay, and now I have like 300 leather jackets in my inventory, and I sell leather jackets. So I mean, I think that there's just no limit to the things that you can do.
Yeah.
The only limits are the ones that you tell yourself. You say like, oh, it's not possible.
It's yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. Yeah, you can't be more right about that, to be honest with you. You just have to open your eyes and to me, still being right here where I am right now, I'm still trying to open my eyes fully to see what's around me, to see the possibilities, to see because what I have planned for me, it's not going to go according to plan. Nothing does, right? I have planned, stuff
Hmm.
and it doesn't go according to that way. And you have to adjust to it and how you adjust. And that's
Hmm.
basically everything in life. You just have to
I
adjust.
I think the most important thing, Paul, is to just be moving in the right direction. And don't be too invested in the initial on the outcome right away. Just be open to, like what you said, some deviations, because like you say, things don't always work out exactly the way you thought, but just try to keep your options open, keep an open mind. And here's the other thing that I would tell you is that, like going back to our Discord chat today, your time, Paul, is valuable. Okay. And
Oh yeah.
someday it's going to be more valuable than it is today. And you cannot waste your time with people that are not serious. You just can't. Your time's too valuable. And when you understand this, uh, okay, like fundamentally understand this, it'll change your life. And it's just like you can't just like spend your time talking to knuckleheads. You
Oh
have
yeah.
to make sure that your time is centered around serious people at some point. It still all depends on what you're trying to do. Okay. Like there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, and you know what your day is supposed to look like, and you know what you can shoehorn in your day. And you're going to make time for people who are serious, people who
Yeah.
will make time for right. You and I know it. This kind of like an inside thing because
Oh yeah.
we're
I know what
talking
you're talking
about our
about.
Discord conversation today and getting you here today. So now I think you probably understand it even a little bit better after
Mhm.
our conversation here today and why I thought that that was important that at some point today we do it. I was just hoping that you wouldn't say right now because I was so busy at that point. But I would have stopped if you would have said let's do it right now. I would have been like, okay, I would have done it. I'm glad you didn't. But Paul went for the right person, for someone who's serious and a good kid like you. I'll stop whatever I'm doing to help you anytime.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, like you said, time is like to me, I see two things the most valuable assets. That's time and knowledge. And some people like to say family, but family can only get you so far. It's what you get yourself to, and that's what I've been trying to think about. I think about it a lot in shower, just my free time. I just think about this stuff. Things go through my mind, and I just think about it. Uh, and I think about what's the most valuable asset. It's time and it's knowledge. If you don't have those two things, you can't do anything, right? And I just 100% know what time is. I hate people that waste my time. I can't talk to people that don't take things serious because they always dumb you down. And it's just like, you can never win that battle. You have to talk to someone serious that's just like
You
you.
just, Paul, just excuse yourself from company like that. Don't have ill feelings or ill regard for them. Just excuse yourself and you just say, listen, I just can't get on with that. So thank you, but goodbye. you know,
It's
but
true. It's true.
don't fall. There's another trap to fall into too. It's just don't start thinking like everybody's an idiot. That could get you in trouble.
Oh,
So,
I
you
try
know,
to, yeah, I don't
we're
try to
just
do that.
all in different places. We're all in different places, we're all different stages, and you're a very motivated person, so I can
Right.
understand why you're like, oh, I want the best of the best, the best, the best, the best, the smartest, this, that. Not everyone's like that, but I understand that you are. So just you're gonna need to have patience with the rest of the mortals.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
you know so
Yeah. Like people start in different places. And like you did, you didn't start as young as me, but you started it and you got there. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I didn't pull my head out of my ass, Paul, until I was 42.
yeah, that just shows that time, like you could do it. You don't have to be super
That's
young.
right.
It's not too late. That's
That's
what
right.
when I listen to you, like sometimes I think, is it too late? But I'm 17. Like for me, I'm like, am I too late? Did I not start this? Because you see these other influencers
Yeah.
on YouTube and TikTok and these, younger than me, a little bit older than me, same age, they're making millions or showing off their cars and everything. And that's where I think social media is a little bit of a trap just because
Yeah.
it gets you
And
jealous and all that.
yeah,
I'm
you don't
like,
even know if
you know,
that's true anyway.
yeah,
You don't even know how true any of that stuff is. So,
yeah, and you just try to think like, wow, I'm like, sitting in my room trying to make a YouTube video, you know what I'm saying?
and
But
you know what, Paul, we already know we see very rich people commit suicide all the time. So
oh yeah,
money is not the answer.
yeah, that's true. It's how you it's basically family. Yeah, family. Family is one of the most important things. If it's not your family, it's your friends, it's your community. Like that's why I say community is like for this project is a lot because it just brings everyone together. And that's what you're doing right now. And that's why I'd like to be a part of your future episodes to meet other people like Dark Silence and Spigoli,
Hmm.
I think his name was, and whoever else you had on here, Poofers. I'd like to meet all of them. The devs. I see Titan talking. I wish I could talk on there just like you did and ask the devs some questions just to pick their brains, a little bit on the
Well,
spot.
maybe you'll get there.
Yeah, maybe one day.
If
Maybe
you
one
if
day.
I mean if you want to, you will.
Oh yeah.
But I would just add this to your answer there. It's like it's about family. It's about those things are great, but there's the one person that you have to learn to live with, and who is that person?
Myself. Yeah.
So, because if you're not right in there, nothing will be right.
Yeah, true.
Nothing. So, just be careful, cautious, all the way through, because there's traps everywhere. That's the thing.
I guess just protect your mental mindset and whatnot.
That's
I
why
yeah.
you're on the right step with the reading. You'll be fine.
Like I said, wasn't a huge reader at all, but I
Mm.
just I know people hate on him, but Jesse Eckel again, like he inspired me to start my YouTube channel like that. And I still like him, even though he sold Titano. It's not like I have any hatred. I would sell if I had that much money too. I maybe not all of it, but some of it. Like
Don't don't
he's
say
a
that
very
too loud.
he's a very smart guy, I think. And people can hate on me for this, but he inspired me to start YouTube. He inspired me to not get in Titano, but he's the one who showed me what Titano was.
What
And
is it? What inspired you specifically?
to start YouTube,
What is it from Jesse that inspired you?
to start YouTube. Is
Yeah,
that
but what? I mean, what is
Oh,
it that?
okay, well okay, I was just making sure it wasn't, like, about Titano and stuff. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
what started me with YouTube is that he's a stand-up person that talked about, crypto to his people, and I thought I could do the same thing. He looked like a genuine guy that started from 0. If I don't know if you know his story, but he started from nothing. He was kinda like you. He was kinda, basically his business failed due to COVID, and he was in a slump for a little bit, but then he picked himself up doing TikTok, showing different side hustles, working himself up. That's not that I'm like in a slump or anything and I'm super in, but I'm like at ground zero, right? I have to work
Mhm,
myself up to be something bigger than I already am. I'm at kind of ground zero. I'm a high school student. I'm not rich. I don't have much money to my name. I work hard for my money. And he's basically did the same thing, but a little bit older than me. And
mhm.
that's what inspired me because he said to build your name. And I want to build my name too. I want to be known as someone, someone more than just this kid that done nothing after high school. I want to be known as somebody. And he did that with his name. And it really inspired me his story of how he started with zero and then just built his way up through side hustles, then the crypto, and then the YouTube, TikTok, and now he has his own company. And you could think of what you want of him, but you gotta respect his hustle and his grind of where he came from and where he is now. He became big because he really wanted it, and that's what I respect about him so much, and that's what inspired me so much. I'm like, wow, and that's what inspires me about you because you started from nothing or you had nothing and you just grinded your way out. I love that grind. Like it just gets me going. Like it gets me so motivated and it gets me
Mhm.
like, up the morning, like, up at 5 a.m. and I'm like, I'm ready to start this day. I'm ready to tackle my goals. Yeah. So that's what inspired me.
Well, good. All right. Well, we're at the 2 hour and 32-minute mark of our interview. Can you believe that 2.5 hours have gone by?
No, I can't. I just, I like doing this, man. Like I said, it takes a little bit to go out because I'm like, you know what? I'm still gonna have to wake up 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm a habit type of person. I'm going to, so I might be a little bit, you know, tired running, but I still do it because guess what? Even though you have those bad days, you have those tired days, you still got to go through. You're gonna have those days that you don't feel like doing stuff. But yeah,
Well, I'm going to give you the next couple minutes here. Do you have anything that you like want to say on the way out here before we close this up?
so you're gonna kick me out now? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm kicking you loose, brother.
All right. Nothing much. Just if you're worried about Titano, watch Titan Talks. Watch this. There's other people like you invested. If you're not worried about Titano and you're happy about the team, and you're worried about your financial state, look at A Tubs. Look at Jesse Eccles. Watch. There's a bunch of other people that were in positions. You got to start somewhere. It's just like working out. You can't just start lifting heavy weights. You have to, start with the tens, then goes to the 25s, then to the 50s. You have to work your way up. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah, that's basically what I have to say. Just work your way up. Don't put too much on your plate. Don't, hold yourself accountable a little bit. But, well, that's basically my take.
You're an impressive young man.
I try. Thank you very much for having me on the show. I think I wanted to be on here like a couple weeks ago, and then you just
Hmm.
kind of almost gave up on me, I think. And then
No, no, no. I don't. I never give up. I just wait.
you just wait.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was trying to text you and you want to text me back, and then I knew that you were serious. When if you want to go on, you have to be today. I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, all right. I see how it is. I'm like on my computer. I'm like, all right, I'm going on today.
Yeah, that's it,
Yeah,
man. I mean, you just have to like sometimes you just, not everything's the way you want it. Not
it isn't.
everything's,
It isn't. Life isn't fair,
that's
and you just got to go through.
but this was fair. I
Oh,
mean,
it
look,
was fair. It was a fun
it
talk.
turned out good. It turned out
It
good,
was really
see?
good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd like to
So,
be on your show again uh, as a special guest or a co-host or something like that.
mhm,
So give me a call or a text or a chat, DM, whatever.
I
When
will.
you're doing your next
Well,
show, and
you're going to be on again because we're going to have you on with Cody. So,
yeah, hopefully you can have me on with Summit, or if you get Summit on here or Wayne on like smart people. Uh,
wait a
smart.
minute. Are you saying that Cody's not smart?
No, he's really smart.
Oh, okay.
You said we were already going to go on with him.
Yeah.
So I'm saying with like other people, like I want to be
I
not just
wouldn't put
Cody. I want to
somebody
be
on
on with
here that
more
wasn't
people,
smart.
huh?
I wouldn't put somebody on here that wasn't smart.
Oh yeah, you just calling me smart.
Of
I guess
course.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm not your.
You're off to a good start.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
That was
I
my
respect
daughter.
that too.
That was my daughter. I have to go see her soon. So,
All
all
right.
right, my friend. I'm glad that you pulled it around and made it happen tonight. You should get some sleep.
I have a question
And
though.
yeah,
Did you
sure.
think I was going to come on today?
Oh yeah, I had it. I knew you'd do it.
All right,
Uh-huh.
because I'm like he probably doesn't think I'm going to come on. I'm like,
Oh no, I knew you would.
all right.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for having the confidence in me and not just since I didn't come on when you asked me to. Uh, yeah, I appreciate this opportunity and connection that we just made, and hopefully, Titano keeps growing, and we are here to witness it. So, yeah,
Well,
thank you,
not just witness it, but take part in it.
and be a part of it. But
Hmm.
well, thank you for having me. I can't wait to be on your show with Cody, and if I can come on with other people, and that'll be fun too. So,
I'm gonna find a place for you so that you feel useful. Don't worry.
I sure you will. You probably will. But thank you for having me on.
All right, my friend.
All right, man. I'll
You
see
have a
you.
good night.
All right, you too.
All right, ciao.
All right, see ya.